Hi folks, welcome to this week's session of Masks of Nyarlathotep, here at Immortals Inc. in Rocky River on the west side of Cleveland. We're picking up where we left off with the characters in New York City, but somebody will be telling you more about that in a moment. First though, let's have everybody introduce themselves. I'm John.
My name's Richard McGuire, and I play a hobo named Samus.
My name's Mel. I play a bootlegger criminal named Elle Montgomery.
I'm Nate. I play. I play.
A new character.
I'm someone new. I play Sean O'Donnell, a coroner.
I'm Hugh. I am playing Roland Kurtz today, a physicist.
Again today. I'm Diana, and I'm playing Trinidad Rizzo, and I'm a dilettante.
And if I can get a 6-sided die roll from everybody, please, to start off the evening.
Do I have one? Oh, there we go. Oh, Diana, why
Doesn't fail.
I was going for my
The
coffee.
big die does not fail.
It never fails.
I got a 2, so.
All right,
looks like
tell
I'm
us what
next.
happened last time.
Thanks,
Nate.
Rich.
All right, so last time,
Thanks.
the group kind of came together. Actually, it was kind of more of a meet and greet last time because everybody had died except for Samus over there. So we met up in New York. Basically, kind of got to know each other's characters a little bit. We started to investigate.
Do you remember where you met up?
At the Prospero House.
You got it.
Okay. So we met at the Prospero House Publishing. We got all the notes from our previous characters. Began to pick up the investigation. Found out that the threat that they thought, our dead characters might be thought, was done in New York, is very much alive and still thriving. We began to make a few inroads to stop what's going on. Met with police department, which really isn't going to be helpful considering they're still pretty corrupt. We met with a reporter who might be able to help kind of open the door to this. I think we left off, we're looking for the Hellfighters. That's where we left off.
Do you remember the other thing that Elle and Trinidad found?
Yeah, there is also a monster, a face snake, another face snake that we thought we killed. Maybe we did, but it's another one that ate through the floor at, I can't remember the name of the place.
Fat Mabel's.
Fat Mabel's. And Fat Mabel is most likely a devotee. So if you're in New York, don't stay at Fat Mabel's.
And do you remember who was renting space at Fat Mabel's?
Yes, all the old friends that we thought we put away. Basically the heads of the Juju House. That Juju House 2 basically is at Fat Mabel's now. The basement is a cult mecca with access to the subway tunnels, and they're back up to their old schemes. So
That's pretty much it. Anybody else have anything they'd like to add? So if I recall, you guys were heading to a meeting when I said I don't think you're going to have time to get through this next meeting. Do you remember which one that was?
yes, we were going to Teddy's to try to meet up with the Hellfighters.
All right. What time of day
And I
was
did
it?
have a question.
Yes, please.
What happened to Carlisle? Did he reunite with his sister?
Yeah, so
Did she stab him?
So you presumably would have escorted him to the Carlisle estate, and
I was there once.
yeah,
At the gate anyway.
exactly. And so she would have greeted him. He is not quite catatonic, but approaching it. So he wasn't very responsive throughout the interactions. And he basically has a live-in nursing, probably a full nursing staff who will be caring for him at home. He's not quite bedridden, but he's half a step from it, especially by 1920 standards.
So I didn't have to carry him.
No. Though you might have used a wheelchair. All right. Erica probably actually, not probably, Erica would have definitely restated her enthusiasm for providing you guys any assistance you need.
So if we run out of money,
We're not going to run out of money now.
No, we're
Yeah.
not going to run out of money.
That's
I
pretty
don't
I
much
got
know.
you, Diana.
Money is no longer an
That's
issue.
it.
It is no longer an issue.
I'm easily running out of money.
I'll help you. I'll help you out.
Yeah, you're always going to be tight, but the rest of the group will have adequate funds for their needs.
I'll give you a couple pennies here and there.
Anything else? Any other loose ends that you guys wanted to?
Do we know for a fact that Silas is staying at Mabel's?
Well, you haven't seen him there.
But we're assuming that he is staying there.
I believe Mabel
Told us
identified him by name.
that was
Yeah.
okay. I
And I
want to make
think
sure
she-
that was
Use and assess honesty
okay.
to
That's right.
determine if she.
But that doesn't mean she's not
'Cause
delusional.
we'll talk
I
about
told
that
her
earlier.
earlier today.
I know,
she
but
insisted
apparently-
to ask, so that she should ask, right? That's fine.
You
No,
did. You
yes.
told me to ask.
It
That's
is
part of
always-
my-
I did.
So here I am.
It is always fine to ask, and I will always do my best to answer.
I find it
I'm glad
better.
you asked me because now it just verifies I wasn't wrong either. So
See, there
Yeah,
you go.
like I said, you didn't actually see him,
Right.
but I believe Fat Mabel did identify him by name.
Okay.
At least that's how I recall it going. Anything else?
Was I able to figure out who the other bootlegger or supplier is to Mabel's?
This is also.
That's a really good question.
Oh,
Yeah, so
Numbers?
you've got a rival by the name of Jimmy Hallahan.
Hallahan. You hear that, my cousins?
And Jimmy has been bringing some hooch in that's probably being brewed out in one of the farms outside of New York City proper.
Okay.
And you're pretty sure.
He's the other supplier.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
we don't know what was underneath.
I'm gonna have to send a couple
Like
people
about
to
a
see
ton.
him.
Seems like a reasonable response.
So, I get word. I will send word back to. Since I can't leave, I'll send word back to Boston to get that checked out.
Okay,
Okay.
sure. You're gonna send a telegram?
That would be probably the fastest.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay,
Let's do that.
sure. Yeah, you can stop by the telegram office and send
Okay.
that. Any other things folks specifically want to address?
Time-wise, this morning, Kurtz went to see Sullivan. Not Sullivan, I'm sorry. Her name is not Sullivan.
You're
It's
talking about Rebecca,
it,
right?
Rebecca
Schosenberg.
Rosenberg. I did that in the early afternoon or late morning.
Yeah, so today is Saturday the 18th of April, right?
Yep.
Yes.
And I think we were picking up in the afternoon, but go ahead. You did go and meet with Rebecca in the morning.
Okay. I just wanted
Late
to,
in the morning, yeah.
just want to know if I have enough time to sort of be with them
Oh,
to
yeah.
go do Teddy's.
Yeah,
Okay.
I thought everybody was going to meet back up.
Okay.
Again, we've got a crew of very pasty-looking folk heading into Harlem, so it might be wiser to go as a group because you're going to attract attention one way or the other.
Well, I'm not so pasty.
You're not. No, you in fact
I'll go
you can
first.
blend just fine.
Just walk behind me.
A really wealthy person in Harlem as well.
Well,
I went to the thrift
Complexion-wise.
store and I got some different clothes. I have to blend. I can afford it.
I can afford to look poor.
That's it.
That is a nifty idea.
It's like real life, right?
So I guess after the meeting, I'd show back. I take it that the Prospero House has been sort of like the meeting place.
I think that's what you guys were doing.
Yes.
I think that's what, Joseph Kensington was willing to let you do that since he had all the articles stored there.
All right. Yeah, then I guess after that I'll head back there and continue my research into all the notes.
Mm-hmm. Well, are you doing that, or are you heading out with everybody?
It depends on what time they plan on doing that.
Well, you guys tell me. What time are you planning on trying to find?
Well, it's considering
What time is it
Saturday.
right now? Is
It's
it?
Saturday afternoon. I thought we were picking up around probably noon, 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
But you
that's
tell
what I
me.
was thinking.
And we're gonna go over to the other bar.
Yeah.
Teddy's.
Were you guys, Elle
What were we
and
going there
Trinidad?
for?
You did stop in at Teddy's the other night.
Right.
Right.
It was just thumping. Everything was a lot of stuff going on. Just a regular bar. Teddy wasn't there though. And why are we going there for?
We're gonna meet Hellfire, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So they were
So we're gonna meet that group.
about the only allies that the old group had in the area. Might be a good idea to recruit them again.
Who would be our best talker then? Let's get us there and get us talking.
I can try. We'll see. They are veterans, so.
Yeah, Declan said that they took Waldesali because they were both military.
And if they were Americans fighting on the Western Front, there's a good chance that one or more of them might have been on my operating table. So.
I have in my notes that Declan and the father Sully got Adams exonerated from prison.
Yeah.
So I would definitely think you guys are friends of his. So, and you know him, right, Father Sully?
Yeah, he was my good friend.
So I think you guys are better off maybe talking to Hilton Adams. I definitely want to go. See what he has to say.
Yeah, we could use any kind of support we can. And they seem to be the crew too that was paying attention to the streets of Harlem. So if anybody knew anything about what was going on around town, I mean that would be the group that would know.
All right, I'm game. I mean, can we find out? Just go over there. Or do we have? Is there a time when they're there more?
We don't know that.
Yeah.
That's why we're going to go
After work on weekdays.
after work on weekdays. We don't.
Just sounds fun. The Hellfire, when are they there? After work.
I think it was Hellfighter.
Fighter?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, because they were. That was.
That was the two. Why did,
That was their unit.
that's what I wrote. That's just not what I said.
Okay.
Hellfire. You're thinking of
D&D.
Oh,
Something.
It's an expansion to Diablo.
Oh, right.
Oh, we did play Diablo.
We did play Diablo.
That was
Okay.
fun.
I love the monk.
Unforgiven. The monk was
The
fun.
monk.
Back on task.
Let's do this.
All right.
Okay.
Walk into Harlem and try to find. So,
Yeah, we're all just gonna stroll on into Harlem.
We can
well, we're gonna
moonwalk
take a
in.
train.
We could
Not heathens.
moonwalk in, yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you guys catch the train into Harlem and head over to Teddy's.
Mm.
How are you guys? What's your style as you're doing this? Are you trying to blend in? Or are you trying to intimidate anybody that makes eye contact with you? What's your approach here?
I don't
I
think
mean, it's a Saturday afternoon in,
right.
I'm
It's
blended
not-
in.
Yeah, I think we're
March.
just-
Let me.
It's not 1970s gangland subway system.
No.
No, it's not. It is raining out today. It's kind of a harsh driving rain coming down.
And then I'll be wearing a nice fedora and have a nice parasol.
I'll be holding an umbrella.
Sure.
Umbrella, but a beater coat.
I'll just be wet.
Sure.
I'm kind of with you. I'm kind of like pull the coat up and have a big hat.
I'm not the most intimidating guy to be. I have a cane. I walk with a limp and have one eye. so I'm not. I mean, I might be a badass to look at, but I'm.
But-
Yeah. You don't look at this guy and like, oh man, he's gonna.
You're-
Yeah, watch out for that guy.
You're one step from supervillain.
Yeah.
I
One
was
step
thinking one
from.
step from Nick Fury, but hey.
I like that better, but I was gonna say one step towards total blackness, so like, completely lose the other eye and be useless. All right. Anyway, yeah.
Sight is all relative.
Not for surgeons.
Okay. Well, yeah. So, it's kind of a harsh driving rain. You get to the door and kind of just barge in to try and get out of the rain fairly quickly. Bell dings as you come in, and a lot of heads turn as you guys are, literally sopping wet when you walk in through the door. The air's fairly thick with smoke. Over the smoke, you do get the smell of coffee. And you see there's a fresh pot brewing back on behind the bar. And folks are kind of looking at you, A, because you just came in, you're making some noise and dripping all over the place, and B, because you do kind of stand out. There are folks, there's a line of bars, or a line of booths along one wall, and the other wall has a bar with a food counter essentially set up. Behind that there are a few, probably 5 tables, each one with 4 seats at them.
I should be able to identify the people. I've met them before.
You do see over at one of the booths there are 5 guys kind of squeezed in tightly, all sitting there drinking coffee.
So I guess I'll walk over there.
Okay, so you're taking the lead walking over there?
Well, these guys don't know who they are.
Sure.
Guess I'll follow.
Do I see the waitress we saw the other day?
You were talking to a waitress downstairs.
Okay.
in the
Do I see the
speakeasy.
waitress? Do I
You
see
do
her?
not.
Okay.
No, she's gonna work.
She's gonna stay down
Your
there.
guessing is she's working a different shift because
Gotcha.
that's open a lot later than
Right. Good point.
than the lunch counter up here.
Okay.
And the guys look really surprised to see you as you come walking up, and one of them signals to the bartender to get you a cup of coffee, and one of the other guys stands up and grabs you a chair and brings it over by the booth. And they're all, Samus, what brings you here? Good to see you, man.
Well, I'm here because the Juju House people are still around. Did you know that?
They look shocked. What? No. How can this be? We haven't heard anything to indicate that. We haven't. The disappearances that have been going on, we haven't even heard about those. Thought that was all shut down. What happened?
I guess the lead guy got out of jail, or never went to jail.
How did you find this out?
Well, I came back to New York and I stumbled upon it. I wasn't actually trying to find it out. But I wanted to let you guys know.
We had no idea. What can we do to help?
Well, they have a new base of operation, and I'll tell them about the other bar.
Okay.
Mabel's or whatever it's
Fat
called.
Mabel's?
Yeah.
One of them's a couple of them are sitting back looking kind of suspicious at you. And finally Hilton says, look, last time we tried to do this, I ended up sitting on death row for a long time, thinking my life was over. Not in any real big hurry to go back there again. Sure appreciate what you and your friends did. Where are
Well,
Declan and Sully?
That's just it. I'm sorry. I'm Sean O'Donnell. I was a good friend of father's son.
What'd you do to piss him off? Good father seemed pretty nice.
Good father's back with his heavenly father at the moment, as is Mr. Steele.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
Well,
Real sorry.
they all perished in pursuit of this in a roundabout way.
I
Now look,
see.
I know you gentlemen were pinnacle in helping out before, but there's still a huge problem in your neighborhood. And It's only a matter of time before that huge problem gets to the point where it was at before.
You sure about that?
Well, I've been making inquiries, and there's been a lot of bodies coming up, unidentified bodies, but they all have the exact same ritual killings. Instead of just targeting certain people, I guess, in last time, now they're targeting people of opportunity.
Sully, this man shooting straight. Declan and Sully really are dead?
Mm-hmm. As far as I know, I didn't see them die.
What do you mean?
Well, they were on an island that was being attacked by the Japanese.
Japanese?
Yeah, the
What's
notes.
that have to do with New York City?
It has nothing. They were near Shanghai.
But he just said they were investigating this.
They
People
were.
doing this have
What are the people doing in Japan?
same thing they're doing here.
They all kind of lean back and you got 5 people staring at you with incredulous expressions on their faces.
Whatever's going on here seems to be going on in a lot of different places around the world. This is just one step.
Sounds way above our pay grade.
Yeah.
I agree. We're not asking you to be soldiers again. We are asking those for some help. We can't move around this city, especially in Harlem. Let's face it, we stand out quite a bit. But
Yeah, you do.
I know Sully did risk himself to make sure that you weren't going to be. Is this the electric chair this time? Sorry. In the 20s, was it electric chair or firing squad? Or it was,
It was electric chair.
make sure innocent man didn't get put in an electric chair. And we want to just make sure that more innocent people don't have their throats slit and their tongues ripped out, no matter who they are.
Can't say anybody wants that.
I know the police aren't going to help. That's why we're coming to you. Seems pretty clear from what I was talking, or from who I was talking to, that this Robinson fella.
Hold on. The waitress comes over with a cup of coffee and sets it down in front of Samus. And Adams leans over and says, "Hey, can we use the basement?" She kind of looks him up. Says, "It's going to be 50 cents. Says, "All right."
Who asked to use the basement?
Hilton.
Okay.
He pays her 50 cents and says, "Yeah, well, let us in." So she opens the door and they gesture for you guys to head down the stairs. I think we might want a little more discretion. We're having this conversation. Never know who's going to be an informant around here. So you head downstairs, she flips the lights on, and they push a couple of bigger tables together so that you're not all crowding around one booth. Now, what haven't you told me? What haven't you told us?
People operating here in New York are just one finger to an entire hand. That hand, Sully, Declan, and them were investigating throughout the world that they stumbled upon one at a time. And like a domino, we can make one topple, they can keep going. But a big part of it's here in New York, and that big part is operating right in your neck of the woods.
So we're allying with the Japanese?
Japanese have little to do with it.
I don't know quite their connection yet. I haven't deciphered the notes left by Declan or anybody yet. Don't know what their role was.
Let's just say the island they were on, from what my last conversation with Sully, was that something big was going on in this island. It had something to directly do with the fingers from here in London.
So, stuff's going on in Japan
China.
and London and New York.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not forget Egypt, right?
Yeah, we suspect
Possibly Egypt and Australia. And Kenya.
And we think.
Big ol' mess.
Mm,
You want us traveling all over the place to take care of this?
No.
nope, just help with
I
I
New
just
York.
got my life back.
Exactly. We're coming to you because you were allies before. You guys want the same thing we do. You want Harlem to be safe for the people in Harlem. And it's not going to be safe if the same operation is going on. Now, they've disrupted it before. They were able to bring you out of jail, put a high-ranking police officer who was corrupt in jail, but the proprietor of the Juju house is free and is out and about committing the same problems as before.
Where's he working out of?
Fat Mabel's.
I think Mabel herself might actually be part of the problem too.
Mabel's part of it. That means there's a lot of money involved. So that's the only thing that'll get her to help anyone.
Well, if he had the money to pay off a police captain, I don't think that's a problem.
Hmm.
These people that they're dealing with, or we're dealing with now, they're devoted to this.
How'd you find out all this so fast? We live here.
No, I kept in good contact with my friend, and it's easy to find when you're really looking for it. Let's face it, you guys, just like us, got out of the Great War looking for a nice life again. You get thrown in jail, you get out, you got a bit of blinders on. You're enjoying yourself. It's not as public as it was before. Cops aren't harassing you all as much. Juju house is boarded up. If it's not your community feeling the loss, it's just random people they're pulling off of subways, off of streets. One,
How many
two,
people are there in this mess this time?
7 for sure, up to 21.
Wait, what was the question? Out of character, what was the question?
How many people died?
No. How many people are involved?
Oh,
in all
involved. I thought you meant dead. 7 victims for sure, up to 21 possible. As far as involvement goes,
I don't know how many. I'm sorry. What's your character's name again?
L.
L. L. How many caps did you say you saw in that crate?
Caps? Ooh, good point. Get it? They weren't caps, they were more headbands, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
30 to 40 white
Okay,
with
30 to 40.
with a knot,
yeah.
knot
with
tied
the-
in,
Okay.
And a red streamer.
and a red
Come
streamer.
off.
Something else. It was red
Well,
something.
30 to 40, I suppose.
although if it's like any church, you have your true devotees, you have your ones who kind of attend, and you have your ringleaders, priests and what have you.
So this is the same crowd that was coming to Juju House, doing whatever it was they were doing in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
They're doing it at Mabel's now.
We suspect that Mabel's, yes. But all the evidence points to Mabel's.
What is it you're planning on? You think we need to do? What are you coming to us for? No, you're not talking to us out of the goodness of your heart. There must be something you want from us.
Simply alliance. We need to have somebody here in New York that knows about what's going on, is willing to do something about it if need be. At the moment, I have no idea what kind of action we can take. We're just 5 people here, novices at getting into this. You've been living in Harlem a long time. You guys know these streets and people a lot better. There's no buzz whatsoever about something going on at all.
There's always buzz about people going missing, but not like there was.
Well, one thing that you guys can definitely do is once we finish up here for the second time, you can contact us if you notice anything going on after.
You're gonna let us know how to get in touch with you?
Yeah.
We're working out of a place called Prospero House Publishing. Our old friend Jackson Elias was a writer.
Can't say as I've heard of him, but
He wrote some interesting books.
okay.
Now, you gentlemen I know you've been around violence. That helps too.
You saying you think we're gonna need to be around some more of it?
Well, I think that these people are willing to kill anybody. And I think it's only a matter of time before they start killing people around here for the same reasons. But by that time, they might have, instead of 30 to 40 devotees, 60 to 70.
Well, there's 5 of us and 5 of you. 10 on 30 or 40 still ain't great odds, but it's a lot better than 5 on.
Perhaps. Is there anybody?
But you have eyes, and intel is probably going to be a bigger help here.
And there's anybody you trust within the local authorities? Or at least isn't so blindly on the take that might be willing to do something about it.
Not so as I've seen. You talked to that reporter down at Times.
I did this morning.
She seems a decent sort. Too bad there ain't anybody reading her articles to give a crap.
Well, we have to formulate somewhat of an idea of what to do.
Well, if there's a timeline here, we believe that there's going to be another gathering of some sort
On Wednesday.
on Wednesday.
If it follows through with their normal operations, the new moon is a sacred night for them, which means most likely another body's going to be found somewhere in New York after they're done with it. Now, I don't know that much about Fat Maples, but it is made of wood.
Yeah, but the basement was
Dirt and wood.
dirt and wood carved out of limestone.
And there was a big
Burn.
hole that went down to the subway. Now, 10 people, maybe 8 people, maybe 7 people, at the bottom of that hole stands a better chance when only 2 or 3 are coming down.
Saying you want to go down that hole and start fighting anybody that comes in
When
after
is
us.
the new moon?
I'm saying that
Wednesday.
perhaps
Wednesday, and what is today? Saturday.
the Hellfighters
Sorry, I'm stealing this.
recruit a few people to maybe, I don't know, throw some
Bodies down the hole?
incendiary devices into Fat Mabel's while we are at the bottom of that hole. Or we find where the bottom of that hole is in the next few days.
Sure you want to be at the bottom of a hole if a building burns down and collapses on top of it?
Well, the other problem is if we burn down their meeting location, then we don't know where to find them.
Well, if they're in there when we do it.
All of them.
Why don't we formulate a plan by Wednesday?
Well, this is
see
just
what
the
happens
ideas
on
that
the
I'm
new
throwing
moon?
out. I mean, it is
We
10
know
on,
where
let's
we're
say
gonna be.
30. So how do you
Yeah.
make those numbers easy?
Do we
Right?
know where they're going
Can
to
we
be?
Best way to
possibly
do it
get-
is at a pinch point
I
or
mean, we can work on getting
Fun.
more people and
Can we possibly get somebody down in Mabel's basement during the ritual that they're going to perform, so we
Yeah,
can
you
see
just-
what they're doing?
You just need to be captured by them as one of their sacrifices.
So maybe Adams. I mean, is there anybody that?
I don't want anybody in that
I-
type of danger.
I could go
That's
find Jimmy.
suicidal.
Again, he knows a lot of
you
people.
can find
so
Jimmy. We'll throw
is
Jimmy down
any
the hall.
like is there anybody like volunteer like that he knows that says, oh yeah, I you know that he knows that goes to the ritual, or someone knows of anybody that goes to the ritual?
Do you want us to ask around if anybody's a cultist?
Something tells me that's not
I
gonna
wouldn't say
That doesn't
cultists, but I would
work.
say that there's
Pretty sure those are the only people going to the cult rituals.
We'll end the sacrifice people.
All
The
I'm getting at
victims.
is we need to have some way to make their numbers work against them while working for us. I know it's not the best
or
plan to
have
wait at the bottom of a hole with a burning building above it. I understand that. I'm just giving one possible idea. But we know if they stick to their schedule, the new moon is when they do this.
Well, we also know about that shipping house on the docks.
Right.
There might be members of the organization
That's
that
right.
meet there. So we have a couple days to like look around.
Yeah. And I think someone like our rich friend here
Might have
might have enough,
influence.
yeah, to
Hint, hint,
make
wink,
some
wink.
purchases.
Whatever you need. I mean, yeah.
A tank, a flamethrower.
Yeah.
Ancient artifacts.
We need
from
to buy off
Africa.
Fat Mabel. I'll go buy Fat Mabel off. He
I
said
think-
that she likes money.
Everybody likes money.
She does like money.
He said she really likes money.
Yeah, but money and power. We might not be able to offer the power part. We
But she
don't-
don't know, don't hurt. We have all kinds of power.
Oh, and one more thing. It's possible they have a unique weapon with them.
Like a gun?
Think more along the lines of stranger than that. It sounds crazy even talking about it, but
Yeah, I wouldn't even talk about it.
So what do you guys want to do? Just go blow up Mabel's? Just be done with it?
it's
Well,
not that simple.
no,
I was just
because you-
spitballing an idea here.
I just
I'm
don't
no general.
understand. Like, what do we know about?
You see, we got this. We have to wait another 2 weeks to do that.
Well, we didn't wait in Japan or Shanghai, so
Well-
why?
Well, you see how well that worked out and all. Or
Worked
maybe
out
you
fine.
didn't see.
We
You weren't
cleansed
there.
the island, or they cleansed the island. Yeah, it worked out real fine.
Basically, if we can take care of them, even if we have to pass, Wednesday is a bit of a close date, considering it's only 4 days away. We technically have until the 6th.
Yeah, well, right. To put that together, we have to. We're gonna cleanse this cult on Wednesday, but we
Attempt.
can't.
When you
attempt to-
say cleanse, you're not talking about
Eradicates.
killing them all, right?
Eradicates.
maybe just the leadership.
That way, this time they can't come back.
The leadership, I think, is what's dangerous to Harlem.
Now, I don't know about your experience. A bunch of white folk come into Harlem, start talking about killing people. Ain't gonna get real well received.
Well, who said anything about killing people?
I believe you just said you're gonna kill all the people that are coming down here.
Cultists aren't people too. That's a good argument.
Well, it doesn't specify how it's cleansed.
The problem, from the way it seems, is that Silas is the biggest threat to Harlem. I don't know if he has to die or not. We don't know much of anything.
Well, perhaps you should learn a few things before you start killing people.
Well, we were hoping you'd have some information. And I don't speak for them as far as the killing right off.
Just seems an awful final solution's all I'm saying.
Well,
I mean, I don't think a lot of people have to
Personally.
die, but there may have to be one person that dies.
personally,
I'm personally telling you, Silas, he's here. He was here last time, and now he with the Juju house, and now apparently he's reopened another one. So if he continues to live, he's just going to keep reopening, and then this is going to affect possibly hit home to your family with the murders. So that's our target.
or we use legal means to do so, but we have to be able to pin something on Silas. You cut the head of
What
the
if he-
snake. The
what if
rest
he
of it
Legal
will go
means
away.
last time he got out
Send
of jail,
somebody in
didn't he?
undercover.
Who can we send in undercover?
That's what I'm saying. Send somebody in her basement, but
Your crew
The-
delivers.
I know. and I'm thinking if I've got these two guys, I'm sending word back to Boston as it is right now.
I can just see him delivering right now. Excuse me. Sorry, the ritual is going on. Sorry. Excuse me. Coming through.
At least be eyes.
I can also send back and get some more of my guys out here so that
I think that's a
we've
good
got at
idea.
least some more bodies on it.
Try to make a delivery. Try to make a delivery the night
Yeah.
of the ritual. That's a really good idea. We'll get in there. Try and get in
No,
there.
I don't want
way.
to do that the same night.
Preferably, you like these people that you are associated
How long?
with.
How long would a delivery take?
10 minutes.
No. I mean, from Boston to New York.
Oh, most of a day. I mean, that's a long drive.
You don't have
It doesn't even have to
you don't have
be.
like a warehouse
Yeah, that's
like that's stocked.
like I've got a halfway point.
Yeah.
You can go
Just
get
so I
some
can get
of,
some more bodies over here and also some more ears upstairs so that
The
you
halfway point would be
know if
Cleveland.
you can find it's kind of like I'm envisioning the
Boston?
No, I thought she was in Chicago.
Oh,
no.
I thought you were
Boston.
from Boston.
I'm from Cleveland.
Oh, I got it backwards. I was close. Close counts.
I'm
Here's
just
the
thinking
thing.
there's got to be somebody like on the cusp of this
My,
thing that's happening.
bit of my emotions there about Sully being dead. I want these people to pay, first and foremost. But
I thought you said the Japanese army killed Sully.
You don't know what happened to Sully.
fingers are all connected to one hand.
I think you got a good idea there.
Just
Maybe someone in your crew could do the
leave-
delivery and then go down and see at least what's going on.
and
in the
at
tunnel.
least hang out for a little bit. Hear
Yeah.
Even before the ritual, go in earlier.
Right,
before
that's what I'm
rather
saying.
than
How
ready.
long is it going to take for me to get a couple guys here
At midnight.
to?
They
Here,
gotta
I'll go
deliver
pay
at
some
midnight.
guys in the alley. They'll make a delivery for you. We'll pay them. They'll make a delivery. Come and report back to us. Get some of your
Well, I need to
alcohol
know what's.
from
I need to
Teddy's.
know what's going back on. What's happening back in Boston too, because I've sent word back there. Because I have a lead on who may be supplying Mabel's other than me. So if I'm sending word back to Boston, I'm going to get those guys to kind of reciprocate, tell me
Yeah.
what's been going on back there.
But even if we
Good idea.
do this survey, which will help in some, we'll at least have information, hopefully, if they don't just kill whoever you send down there.
I mean, we don't know.
What do we do with it? How do we deal with this?
I mean, Mabel didn't kill us. We went down there. I mean, we didn't get killed.
I mean, maybe we could find out if Silas even leaves.
I mean, you guys
the
are talking
place.
this openings with teeth marks and all this stuff. This is a little
We
beyond
need to
me.
see
You're
s-
asking, what are we gonna do? And, hey, look, all I can do is send you a couple grunts.
We need to verify with eyes that Silas is there and doing rituals.
Even so,
least
what do we
they're-
do after we find that out?
We take down Silas.
In what way?
We'll figure that out
Couldn't
when time
we
comes.
arrest them?
They got this new captain on the take, just like the old captain.
I don't know about that.
Wasn't he arrested once and put in prison? And
I
he
think
got
that
out?
one's, that guy's been arrested. I don't know about the new
Silas
guy.
hasn't been
Yeah.
arrested.
He hasn't
No,
been
no,
arrested
the
yet?
This
The
Captain
The
new
Robin.
Captain Robeson was arrested.
Captain
Yeah.
Robeson was arrested.
Which he's bad. He's a
And I
good
think
cop.
that whatever, I mean,
But Lieutenant Poole was saying that the new, put it this way, when I talked to the coroner here about these cases, he had mentioned how these are all very similar and that he believes them to all be from the same person, but there's no investigation going on because the people down at the precinct here are directly involved in that not happening.
I don't know. I didn't catch that. My impression was that because the murders are still scattered all over the place,
that they weren't just putting
They
any
weren't-
attention on it. They were like, this is too,
it's too random.
it's too random.
Yeah.
Coroner reports, I can honestly say, from my work in Cleveland, if I make a recommendation to a prosecutor, they tend to look at it.
But if there's who has jurisdiction if a one murder happens in Red Hook and another murder happens, in
But that's just that the
Brooklyn and
coroner
then
is
another happens
confirming
in,
that these murders aren't happening there. This is where the bodies are being dumped.
they're going upriver. I don't know.
There's somebody who's obviously saying, somebody of importance to say that this isn't worth looking into, which which means they can override the medical examiner's.
The
Notes.
problem back then is the different departments didn't like communicate with each other. So whatever happened in this region, if something's happening in this region, they don't know because they don't talk to each other about it.
Right.
Yeah. And my impression was that whoever's at the 14th now is trying to like skirt the problems of the previous.
The 14th now is filled with people who don't want to be there. All the
Yeah, but they're
riffraff
probably
from
going to be.
every other precinct.
How'd you find this out?
It's
Talk to
still
some
not the
guys.
impression I got. My impression was that these people are going to be straight as a friggin' arrow. So they're not going to deal with anything that doesn't seem like a cut and dry. We can solve this. We can do this.
No, I
Because
thought it was just a bunch
Lieutenant
of
Poole,
riffraff that was
Lieutenant
sent.
Poole was saying that the people sent to this district now.
Nobody
Are
wants to
all
be in
riffraff.
Harlem, so of course nobody wants to be here. But when they reorganized the department, my impression was that the people who got put here didn't want to be here, sure, but they weren't like the assholes. What they were is the straight shooters because they want to like scoop all the problems that the previous precinct had under the rug, so no one keeps pointing
They
fingers.
just want to ignore the.
It's not the
Because
impression
it's
I
not
got.
cut and dry. It's not cut and dry. Oh, some random murder of some random hobo got thrown in a river. That who cares?
I would be slightly offended
I
if I.
thought all of the members were
Well,
in
I'm
Harlem.
surprised they're not
No.
offended by
Oh.
nobody wanting to be in Harlem.
Right.
Yeah.
Bunch of white cops? No surprise.
Yeah.
The
Random-
impression I got was
Random murders that cannot be solved, no one cares about. It's the shit that can be solved that's the only thing they care about.
The impression that I got was that when they shook up this department, everybody loyal to the old captain
Was moved out.
moved around, and the people who filled in are the ones who say aren't the most professional, or have had problems at other precincts and just sent there
How did you come to those conclusions? I don't-
by talking to Lieutenant Poole.
Probably the 7th precinct.
Mm-hmm.
He said he tried to look into taking over the case, but
That happened while you guys were out in Harlem last night.
Yeah, and then Poole said he tried to get assigned the case, but
It was denied,
it was denied.
which means somebody had to deny it. Which means somebody
His
don't-
department denied it because it just probably was not relevant to the department.
So Poole tried to go there, and they denied him going there.
Yeah.
He's a completely different precinct, though.
Yeah, but he's a good cop, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he tried to go there, and they denied him,
He tried to get permission to go there, yeah.
and they denied him.
And most likely because it just seemed irrelevant to the 7th precinct. Why would a 7th precinct cop be assigned a 14th precinct problem?
That's essentially it, yeah.
So maybe she could get him transferred somehow. Bribe somebody, some
Or just
bureaucrat.
bribe another
I
cop on
don't
the
think that's a
14th.
good idea.
Yeah.
I mean,
You know, I've
it
got.
is an
Well, let's
idea.
ask him
I,
if we can.
We have two options, really. It's what it boils down to. Whatever information we do get, where Silas is, where he is, we have two options. One is a direct confrontation with those people. Not the best option.
correct.
Second option is that we let the law enforcement that is here handle it. But to do that, we need to put a very bright light on what's going on and get
Which
people.
means you need to get an informant in there, a mole in there, to know what's going on first.
and maybe a reporter to link up all of these cases to show that it's all one, and maybe even embarrass the police departments in general for
For
So
ignoring
what
the
you're
fact.
saying is one of them should try to join the cult.
No way.
Why? What if?
I am not sending anybody on a death mission. Sorry.
So
I
what
might
if we
have
just
somebody.
went to the 7th precinct and said, "Hey, we trust this Lieutenant Poole. Tell them what's going on. You want to go to the cops? Let's go to them and tell them what's going on. Say, here, can we get this guy over here because we trust him? Let's put him in this 14th precinct
How do we
and
do
see if
that,
we can
though?
do it that way. Let's go talk to the 7th.
How are a
Precinct,
bunch of
I mean, I don't
civilians
know.
going to get
I can't dictate.
get a detective transferred because we trust them?
Well, you're going to tell them the story. You said you're going to go to the police and you're
After
going
we get
to
evidence, after we
You just-
shine
you
a
just
really bright light.
Bribe the police chief to do it. You
And
don't
yeah,
even have
I'm
to
gonna-
make any type of.
I'm going to pay him.
argument.
We're gonna pay him. We're gonna tell him, hey, this is what's going on. We trust this guy. Let's get him over here. What is it gonna take? I have money. Whatever you want. Pay him.
Man.
So you want to bribe the police chief of the 7th precinct
If that's what
to
it takes,
transfer?
why not?
Cool.
It's 1925. It's what we
Hey,
do,
you
right?
you are a dilettante. You are a dilettante, and you have the money to do whatever the hell you want to.
So, you guys
And
in
she-
or what?
And
There's no you guys
from
on
what
this
I-
one.
from
You
what
You
I
want-
have to talk to
understand,
them and tell
she
them what's
usually
going
gets what
on.
she wants.
Wait, why,
Yeah.
why do I have to?
Well, because you're doing a fine job. Because you already just did a nice
You're doing a
little
really
chat.
fine job talking.
Because no, my
I
reason
really-
is because you are you were friends with Adams. I mean,
Sully.
was.
Sully was. So you're connected with it. You know, with
You're
even
passionate
Harlem.
about
You went
this.
there and talked to the
Yeah,
Hellfighters. You know,
There's a difference between wanting vengeance for a close friend of mine who was brutally killed and accepting that I could be in Sing Sing for bribing a police officer. There's a big difference between the two.
not bribing them.
Or Rikers, at least.
I'm asking if he wants some money.
Everybody wants some money.
I'm not. Yeah.
It's a favor. It would be
I have
a
no-
bribe.
I have no swing in that department. None whatsoever.
Wonder if he's a drinker.
Everybody's a drinker.
I just want the story to be told to him, and then we'll.
I am not a
pay
drinker.
it.
So let's get
We'll-
this.
we'll-
So let's get the story first.
Not either.
We can do this without throwing money and possible jail time at us.
Okay, let's go.
Alright.
Let's see how that works.
I think the
I
espresso
got the
just
wallet
kicked in
whenever
over
you're
there.
ready. Whenever you're ready, I got the wallet.
Well, the last time,
Could you grab me a cup of coffee, please?
Yes.
Thank you.
You want anything in it, John?
No, thank you.
honestly, though, the last time we did this, bringing in a reporter, met this gentleman off of death row.
You weren't here last time.
We've read the
So
articles.
he didn't get off of death row based off of the reporter?
Based off of what Rebecca found.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, you said the last time we did this, there was no we. You were not a participant in the action that had taken
The
place.
last
Yeah,
time
stop metagaming,
you did
Nate.
this.
That is not a bad idea, though.
Which one?
Kurtz spoke with Rebecca this morning, who was very interested in the story that Steele and the rest of the group had uncovered about a global conspiracy. But the fact that she's even interested in speaking with us about that means that she may be interested in sort of connecting these murders to, we can call it a murder cult. We don't have to call it some, anything more than just a group of homicidal maniacs or whatever who are killing people.
Usually that's enough.
Yeah, but
But not in
we know-
Harlem, it seems.
But we know that the cops are not connecting the dots, either out of unwillingness or ignorance. But if a reporter connects the dots, then the cops might have to take action if she makes the departments look like idiots. Then that could
So
be...
maybe we can have our dilettante pay off the reporter to go talk.
We don't have to pay her off.
She
She
seems very
said
interesting.
she's willing to
Yeah, she wanted to
go
meet.
that far already,
She wanted to meet and sell
or
the
does she
story.
want to wait for the new moon?
No, we'll,
I don't think she knows. I didn't tell her that. Kurtz, I should say, did
Okay.
not tell her that.
Tell her about that.
No. Nothing more, nothing about the conspiracy, but about, she pieced it together that there was some global conspiracy, and I played dumb. Like, I don't know, maybe. But she seemed...
And where is she located?
She's at the New York Times.
So what we need from you, gentlemen, then, is maybe a few eyes on Mabel's.
Mabel's.
Not directly in Mabel's, but at least on it.
Yeah. Do you remember... Did you ever see Silas at the Juju house? Or the man,
I
the
think
old man?
one of the guys says, I think my nephew was
That's-
keeping an eye out for
that's
you
what the
guys
note said.
before.
Yeah.
I think
He was a
I
photographer or something?
think he has a camera. I think we can get somebody stationed to keep an eye on Fat Mabel's. You want to know who's coming and who's going?
Yeah.
I think I remember him mentioning there was an old man.
And of course, he can be compensated for this, too.
There's an old man coming and going from Mabel's.
Yeah, that's Silas.
That's Silas.
He's a distinct old man.
Talk to
I
my
was
nephew
talking
again.
about him
When do you need it?
before, I knew what
When
he
do you
looked
want him
like.
set up there, keeping an eye on the place?
As soon as possible.
He's most likely going to be in traditional African garb.
Which I don't know how common that is.
In Harlem at this time,
Yeah.
would kind of stand
I'm about
out.
to say, yeah.
Yeah, let's stand there.
And the other thing we need to do is find out where the tunnel to the subway leads from the other end. I mean, just because they heard the subway.
Wait a minute. There's a tunnel from Fat Mabel's
Oh.
into the subway.
Yes,
Shoot, we
yes,
didn't
there
tell you
is.
that.
That was the whole I was
Oh,
talking
that was the whole thing.
Yeah, we don't know where the
Can you pass that
tunnel
down, please?
is.
That's hot.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
So, how do you know this tunnel goes into the subway? You been down there?
You've seen it.
Did you go down there?
I didn't go down the tunnel, but I opened it. I could see it goes down to the subway. I could hear it. There's
What are
hear
they
the
doing in
train.
the subway?
well,
Probably the easiest way to bring somebody kicking and screaming without a bunch of people seeing it.
I ain't putting anybody down in the subway watching the place.
No.
No.
We'll take care of that end.
How are you gonna get down there? Seems kind of dangerous. Don't want to get run over by no streetcar.
I used to live in the subway.
I can. How are you gonna get down in the subway? Is what you're asking?
Just doesn't seem the smartest plan to start walking around the subway tunnels. Seems like a real good way to get real flat.
See, now this is where bribes could come in, actually.
Well, you let me know whenever you're
We don't even need
ready.
to bribe. We could just
Well-
damage the tracks. so
I was
that
gonna
they-
say, does anybody know?
What's
where
your
the-
electrical repair? We need electrical unrepair.
Or
Dismantling
simply
the
say,
subway.
hey, we'll look at this
Or just,
train. We'll look at the train schedule. Oh, there's 3 or 4 cars
But
that
we
go
can,
switch
through
we
the
can
here.
make the
tracks.
schedule. You understand what I'm saying?
There's got to
Could
be.
disrupt.
I mean, I don't know anything about 1920 subways, but were there maintenance tunnels?
Yeah, there's got to be something.
Yeah.
There's got to be something
Yeah,
down
there's-
there. So it's not like we're walking the same. We're not walking next to the track as a subway.
I must have at some point tried to use that
Yeah, New
as
York.
a means of
Yeah.
transport.
And then you
So
found
I would
out that it
know.
filled up with water. So you stopped.
What's that?
The tunnel's filled with water.
So I was like, yeah, that's probably not a good idea.
You know, there's
We-
a tunnel. There's a train coming through those tunnels probably every 7-8 minutes most of the day.
Schedule.
Late at night, it might only be running once every half hour to every hour, depending upon whether it's a weekday or the weekend. But
And
there's a
again,
lot of trains going through there. And
we would be able to. I mean, we have time. We would be able to figure out the schedule, right? A couple nights at least,
Yeah.
and it wouldn't vary too much day to day. Week, Sunday to what days hold on?
Wednesday.
Samus,
So we find a
lived
way
in
to
a
get
subway.
in between trains, but you don't.
Why do we even know we need to get on a train? Maybe there's something else down in the subway.
We're not going on a
What
train.
else
We're
do
not
things
going on
down
a
in the
train. We're just
subway?
trying to figure out how to get down
Rooms,
there without getting hit
Other
by a
rooms, areas.
train.
Maybe
Well,
they
that
have
is
other
another
operation
strategy.
place. They
You
have
get on
other-
the subway and you pull the
And
emergency
if you
brake.
believe the papers,
That's a
bears
good-
and crocodiles.
Were there emergency
Did you
brakes?
say no, we weren't getting on the subway?
I don't know.
I don't know if there were back
What are we
then.
going down the subway for?
Because
We'll figure that out.
To see
Yeah.
if there's other rooms. And
We'll figure the
things?
train stuff
mainly to
out.
find that
you guys-
the tunnel that goes from Maples
Possible.
to the subway.
As soon as possible.
Yes. Okay.
Because
So you just want us watching the
suspects
entrances
that,
to Fat Mabel's
whatever
front and
tunnel was
back.
made in the basement of Maples.
Possibly with cameras.
Goes to the
take
subways,
pictures of those
tunnels.
coming in and out.
It's a bar. It's a restaurant. There could be an awful lot of pictures.
We're trying to
That
figure
gets
out the safest
expensive
way to get in
fast.
the subway
I think the
without
people though that
trying
we're
to-
highly looking for is those dressed in traditional African.
Or white caps with red sashes or whatever, tassels.
All right. Sounds unusual enough. Should be able to spot them.
Yeah, people who you wouldn't expect to go
I think
into
you
Maples.
May I mention this was a paying gig?
Huh?
How much can you boys afford to pay?
What do you need?
It's not for me. It's for my nephew. Good kid, but he's had some trouble and his mom is awful sick.
Look, if you would be working on a dock, you'd be only making what, 22 cents a day? What if we gave him $1?
Talk about $1 a day for just sitting around?
Taking pictures.
As long as you're covering the film, I think we can swing that. You need 2 boys, one at the front, one at the back.
Whatever you can get.
You got 2 cameras?
We can get another.
Right. Meet me up at, drop off those cameras at Teddy's as soon as you can. I don't know if I can have somebody there tonight, but I definitely can tomorrow.
I'll pull out 2 5s and give it to him. Advance paid for
Right in Everly of you.
Okay, out of game. Can we just recap what just happened?
it. We're gonna figure out the subway situation.
Okay,
So we're paying.
but Hilton basically just said he's going to have someone at Mabel's to keep an eye out.
Not
Yep,
at,
yep.
probably
In
across the street or somewhere.
Just somewhere, somewhere
Taking
watching,
photos
looking for
of those
our
coming in and out. Yes.
So
Okay.
anybody, you had said anybody wearing
white.
unusual garb.
Okay.
So can we have somebody in the subway do that too?
I don't think.
They had said they weren't going to send anybody down the subway.
We want to
That's
wait
what they
until
were
we
going.
get that either
Subway's the far more dangerous
Yeah.
part of this.
going in blind.
So basically, we're just taking pictures of who's coming and going at Mabel's.
Yep.
Okay.
Particular attention, should reiterate with particular attention to if there's a schedule for when Silas leaves, comes back, or if he even leaves. We kind of want to know his schedule.
All right.
He's going to be an older gentleman.
Okay.
Had I looked around the basement the last time I was in Teddy's, didn't see anything. Do I notice anything's changed since the last time we were down here? What was that, last night?
No. Well, I mean, last night it was open.
Right.
It's not open now, but nothing particularly unusual. The lights were out when you guys came down, so they had to flip them back on. It looks like the place still needs to be cleaned up and the bar needs to be prepped before they open for the evening, but there's nothing obvious.
And Mabel had no clue about that tunnel in the basement and all that
She
stuff.
said she did.
She said she didn't, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you
we
asked
think
her about
she's
the hinged crate, and she didn't know
But-
there was a crate that had a hinge.
Right.
And I did assess honesty on her through that whole conversation, right?
Yeah.
But that doesn't
So-
mean she's not crazy.
Right.
I know. Or she really believes that that's happened, you know, believes what she's saying. She's
Right.
brainwashed.
Could be.
Or she's paid to just not go to the basement, and she's happy to take the money
Could be.
because she's probably making more by not dealing with the basement
Let's
than
go
she's
pay her to
ever
go through
made.
the tunnel.
Yeah,
She likes money.
yeah.
We'll
she
go
does.
down we'll go down the other side and wait see if we see her.
So, any other questions out of character?
Are we there yet?
Right?
I don't know where there is, so
Right.
I can't answer that.
There. You know, there.
So I guess
It's time to start looking at the
At the
metropolitan
subway system.
transit authority stuff and
Well, you're a
figuring out how
scientist,
we
Mike.
can
Can't
get
you go
into
to
a
like
subway system.
get the
without
city
being hit
schematics
by
or records, the
trolleys.
tunnel system?
So what out of that Rebecca
I'm a
reveal?
physicist.
Anything?
Yeah, we should probably.
I'm not a civil engineer.
I think you could
What other
devise
re-
a way
Rebecca's
to-
got to
Rebecca.
have somebody on the take too, right? So,
Rebecca showed the
The
reporter.
reporter?
What else did she say? What did she
I
have?
mean, we could probably use her and her
I think so.
connections too to.
Yeah, I think we should talk to her again.
How do we approve for what? For just the
Pe-
Mabels, or for this excursion into the subway?
I think we should tell her just about everything we know, and try and convince her to sort of piece these pieces together.
Maybe she's
to
got
get
cronies
something
that'll
to go
down
to
and
the police with,
Yeah.
or report
To report.
to report
Right.
and light a fire.
That's right.
Yep, I agree.
I think that's important.
Why are you looking at me?
Because you made
Because
noise.
you made noise. I was just gonna
Still-
say because you made
Have
noise.
we talked to Teddy? We still have not talked to Teddy, have
Yeah,
we?
where is Teddy?
We need to talk to Teddy.
Why do you need to talk to Teddy?
Yeah. Why
I don't know. He's the
Okay.
owner of the bar.
Just want to say hi.
Just want to say hi. What's up? How's the bar?
Wasn't
Just
around
want to
for the
make
day
sure he's a
shift.
real person there and alive. Oh,
Why are you looking to buy?
Hey, if I go to the bathroom,
I wanna
in the
see
bar,
if
is there
he's
anything
insane
written
like
on the
Mabel.
stall?
Oh, I'm
Maybe
sure
he's
there
like-
are many things.
Like
Many
written on
things,
the
I wanna
wall.
anything
suss
of
the
interest?
truth on him or whatever.
Anything of oddity?
And see if he's telling us the truth of what he
For a
does.
good time.
For a
Yeah,
good
there's
time,
a lot
call.
of that.
Aren't you supposed to be
Hang on, I got something going on in the bathroom over here.
Are you supplying Teddy? And then you can go back to that. You supply Teddy's too, right?
Yes, I do.
And did you find other crates down there?
Not that I've seen.
That's fine.
And if you repeat that,
Huh?
that's what I thought.
Nothing extraordinary in the bathroom that stands out.
I just always find writing on bathroom walls very interesting.
Fair enough.
See what it would say in 1925, 26.
Same
Yeah,
stuff
I
as
kind of
now.
would like to see
Pretty
Teddy.
much.
and
Yeah,
just,
same thing it is now. I love. Never mind.
Yeah.
I don't know about women's bathrooms, but I could guarantee you walk into a men's bathroom, it doesn't matter if it's 1900, 1850, there's going to be a big penis drawn somewhere.
You said it,
Oh.
not me.
Yep.
And it's usually.
Men don't really change that
No.
much.
It's pretty funny.
Women's-
You have a driving force. I mean, you can look at it that way. You do have a driving force.
So, we just have to figure out these tunnels. Oh, I assume that we wrap up our conversation.
Well, where are you heading then?
That's a good question. What time is
Well-
it about?
Oh, how are they going to get a hold of you?
Leave a number and address to the Prospero house.
Okay.
And I'll actually,
And
for
if we need to
courier,
get a hold of you in the middle of the night, you're going to be there? Since middle of the night seems to be when you want the photos most.
I'll give some extra money for a courier and give him my hotel address and room number.
My apartment.
And I will make sure that the
live in
front
New York.
desk knows to wake me.
All right.
I should be able to find out who's receiving my goods here at Teddy's.
Sure.
So I would also leave some info.
Talk to them or talk to me. Just before.
Exactly.
Okay.
We'll play a game of telephone. The real message is it's happening tonight, and you hear it's a happy night.
It's a happening night.
So
He's bumping.
we do need to figure out a tunnel system idea here, right? We'll defer to Samus on that one.
Well,
You
I
got the
was
most
going to say,
experience.
right, he's probably had the most experience.
with
and,
this.
you know, we're looking for
What's our best
main
option?
breaker boxes or something. Just
What's
to,
a good idea to shut down a train for
Well, and
an
is that
evening?
what we want
Let's
to
say,
do? Do we want
let's
to
say
shut it down? Do we want to get on it? Do
let's
we
say
want to?
the 22nd. What would be the best
Yeah,
way
I
to
don't
stop
know
a
if
train
they have
coming
emergency
through?
brakes back then.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, do
You'd
we?
have to find the hub.
Do we knock the operator unconscious?
And that's not what I meant at all. I meant make the tunnel so that they already know that they can't. Those trains are going to have to be delayed. You get
Guys,
what I'm saying?
there has to be maintenance tunnels down here.
Right.
So
well, we could go
don't
to the
have
Hall of
walk
Records or whatever.
the track and a subway to move around in the subway. There has to be side passages and stuff to move around.
What if we went to the library?
Or the Metropolitan Transit Authority, if
Yeah.
such a thing exists.
Oh, it does.
Look at me, the criminal, saying, "Let's go to the library. Let's go to the library." Stupid.
Yeah, and the transit authority might give us.
I don't know about giving us, but that's where a bribe could come in because that
Yeah.
has no risk whatsoever. Hey, what are the maintenance tunnels blueprints
Where?
That's
Yeah,
not
give me
open to
those
the public.
blueprints to.
You,
I think
Really?
George Washington thinks they're open.
you could break into the
Well,
facility and
I
steal.
could break into
Maybe
the
not George
library.
Washington,
I could.
maybe-
That's true.
maybe
I
a-
could break into the library and
who's on
steal the
20.
blueprints.
Jackson will get you an awful lot.
Yeah,
but
say.
Hamilton or Lincoln are probably adequate now too.
Yeah.
But let me step back a second and ask: does anyone have bureaucracy?
I do.
Yeah.
Does anyone want to spend a point of
I can-
bureaucracy?
I'll spend a point of bureaucracy.
Yeah, that's a no.
All right. So with your point of bureaucracy, you know that where the Hall of Records is located and where the maps would be that you need to go to find the blueprints relevant for that portion of the subway system.
Okay. So we have some information.
So you know where to go.
Right.
You've got a pretty good idea of who to bribe and a pretty good idea of how to bribe them. You're pretty sure cash isn't going to be your best option. Bottle of hooch is probably going to be your most
got
persuasive
We
argument.
got that in spades. Now, does that point of bureaucracy also kind of hint at
I'm going to
who
liquor
would I
store
have to
right now
talk
buying a
to
bunch of
to
bottles.
maybe have that
For all
line
our
not
business.
working on the night of the 22nd?
What's wrong with my stuff?
Apparently it's shit. That's why it's sitting there.
Whoa!
You know that the
You ain't been
city
taking care of
engineer
business.
would be the person to talk to get something shut down. But your guess, you're not an expert on the usual MTA
Right.
plans, but you're pretty sure that it being the 18th, getting something shut down for the 22nd is going to require an emergency or an act of God.
Why are we shutting down the tunnel again?
Well, let's just say.
Why would we need that answer?
All right. Hold on.
No, seriously.
Honestly, like this is out of character, right?
We could flood the tunnel.
Normally,
Uh-huh.
like that, I'm having a feeling that that the face snake
Uh-huh.
is probably more active during these rituals.
Uh-huh.
So possibly not having anybody around.
So this is a public safety issue.
That's not the argument I'm going to
That's
make.
right.
but
It is.
This is like our characters wise, like
Okay.
But that's not the argument you're going to make to the bureaucrats.
No. I mean, a 10-foot to 12-foot, 500-plus pound, multi-eyed face snake monster is probably not a good thing to have around. And if we have to confront said creature, having a bunch of people around would not be a good idea. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
And if we have to flee, it'd be nice to know that we're not going to, even service tunnels aside, it'd be nice to know that a trolley is not going to kill us. Like, we get to the end of the service tunnel, and we have to run across the tracks to this point to
You
get to
see
the
the light
landing.
at the end of the tunnel.
And then a big trolley comes by.
Don't go to the light.
Right. You get what I'm saying?
Go the other way.
Cause
Not-
as much.
I can actually run away pretty well.
Me too.
Even though I'm a gimp.
But
Should
I
I
was
say
going to
that?
invest in fleeing
Gimpy.
this time.
Where's running? Fleeing? I
Fleeing.
can run too.
Samus can run away.
I'm already
really
gone.
It's a matter of he who runs first.
Right, I don't have to outrun this face snake. I just have to outrun.
Get all your
you.
bums together and have them pile up a bunch of stuff on the tracks that day.
Well, I was saying we could flood the tunnel.
That wouldn't help us, though.
We just have to swim.
That wouldn't help us.
I'll buy everybody scuba gear.
You ever see a snake swim? It's a lot faster than a
I
person.
don't think you want to use 1920s era scuba gear.
Huge.
Yeah, brass.
700 pounds.
But that would be like Terminator armor.
Yeah.
I mean, you should have had your friend. We should have not have flooded it. You should have had your friends just.
We're not going
Throw
to
stuff on
We're not
it.
going to do any of it. I'm going to try to figure out how to get it shut down. It's going to probably be very hard, be very difficult, and most likely require money.
Alcohol.
Alcohol.
Bowls.
That too. That too.
I just want to see it at this point. I want to see it all
And
happen.
again, so what is our objective
So
at that
excited.
point?
Well, we have to find where the tunnel is. That's what we're in the
Right.
process of doing.
Yeah.
Like,
And
where does the underground tunnel lead out at?
Yep, and I think once we get the map from the Transit Authority, and then we overlay that with the map of Harlem at 138th,
You know, we go down there at 2 a.m. Hope to get not run over.
well, we can make connections before we shut the train down, like travel the service tunnels, because
Right.
they're there.
Sam, this is going to take a little bit of time to get together. I'm not just going to rush in.
Well,
We've got to
that's
figure
no
out.
fun.
And we've got people.
Taking intelligent, decisive action.
I don't know. Where's
I know,
Sully
Diana
when
and I
you
are
need
in the
him?
wrong game here.
Where's Sully when you need him?
He,
Burn it down.
I would have rolled 20 times by now.
there's bits and pieces of him.
No, there's not.
No, that's right. The H-bomb went
My
off,
friend's
so.
seen him. She sent
There's
pictures
not
back.
even ash left.
Yeah, there was bits and pieces of him. And Declan. Sorry, buddy.
It was, yeah.
That's all right.
So Rose took care of all that.
All right, so
She was out of her mind. She went crazy. Everybody was dead. She was scared. What do you expect? Poor thing.
Okay, so that's number 2. So I guess we need to send some people to try to get the maps for the Transit Authority.
I'm hoping that's what it's about.
Yeah,
The architect.
essentially.
Okay.
Yeah. That's
Essentially
probably what we
got the
ended up.
maps.
That's probably what we ended up doing for the rest of the 18th.
Yeah, that's gonna. Well, no, they're not gonna be open on the 18th.
Or the.
You're gonna have to wait till the
wait till
20th.
Yeah.
But you will be able to get them on the 20th.
All right. Then
A
maybe
couple hours in the morning of the
Right.
20th.
I'll
And,
reach
and
out.
the 2 days in between the 18th and 19th.
I'll
we'll
reach
talk
out to the reporter.
And what is it you're?
I will tell her that
Well,
we need.
let's hear you. You
Oh.
get a hold of Rebecca.
So
are you on the phone or are you stopping down to the office?
on the phone.
Depends what she look like.
She's attractive.
Then I'd be going.
She's young too.
Just saying.
We'll be meeting.
There you go.
All right.
So you wanted to talk about? Oh, I'm sorry. Let's start from the beginning.
So
This
it's
is
just the two of
Roman
you heading down
Kurtz.
to the New York Times office?
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
Okay, sure. So, yes, Mr. Kurtz and Miss.
Montgomery
What
from
can I do
Boston.
for the two
Nice
of
to
you?
meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. You were following up on Hilton?
Get us
Mr.
started.
Adams?
Get us started, Curtis. I'll be right behind you.
I was thinking about what you said. Yesterday, or was it this morning? This morning.
Well, what day are you? I assume you
It-
were.
maybe
probably
maybe
this
Sunday.
would have had
Sunday.
to be. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So on Sunday, yesterday, I think. Why don't we meet at the Prospero House, and we can talk about the things that we discussed on Saturday.
Do you have additional paperwork there to show me?
I have a lot.
I would
Not
be very
enough.
interested in seeing that.
You have information, or I should say, can you pool all the information about the murders that have been happening with, this particular PO or MO?
I'll see what I can do.
Bring that along as well.
All right.
I think there's a connection between the notes that I have and these murders that seem to have been continuing on for the last couple months.
All right.
Years.
I'll
2 years.
see you tomorrow morning then.
As a side note, have you heard of anyone around town named Jimmy Hallahan?
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 No, I don't recognize that name. Should I?
Well, you kind of corrected me, so. But
For not knowing the guy.
yeah, right, I don't know the guy,
Should know
but-
how to enunciate him pretty well.
yeah, right. Because I've just got a sneaking suspicion that he's been around town, so I just wanted to see if you and your
Is he a murderer?
no, not that I know of. I think he's just connected to some friends of mine in Boston. I just wanted to see if you had.
What sort of friends are these?
Murderers.
What's that?
They're murderers.
They might know of some shady places around town that you haven't gotten to yet, and I wondered if I could figure out where he might be, that I could speak to him. So,
Okay.
not sure who to ask where I can find this guy. So,
All right. Well, Jimmy Hallahan, you said?
yes.
If I hear that name again, how do I get a hold of you? Through Mr. Kurtz
Correct.
at Prospero
At
House?
Prospero House, yes.
All right.
I was gonna whoop his ass.
Guess that's for the
And again, so we're going to see her tomorrow morning. Okay.
She's
With
gonna-
everybody else.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
Anything else you guys want to take care of on Saturday?
Well, I'll let you go try and find Teddy. I don't know if we should do it Saturday.
Writing.
Did this
You can
Samus come
stop
from
back.
too?
I mean, what is it you're looking to get
I was
from him?
from
I just kind of want to ask him if he knows anything about Mabel's Bar.
Oh, that's
what's going
right.
on over there.
That's right.
He does. You're not. You don't.
But that doesn't mean
Okay.
I
He doesn't
didn't
know
live
anything
in the
about it.
subways
He's
at
more
some
concerned
point
about
in my life.
his
Yeah.
own businesses,
Okay.
making sure things are up and running. He's,
I mean, I can claim
he's
almost
heard that the
anything
place isn't doing real well. But
that has
Yeah.
to do with homelessness.
Yeah,
nothing real informative there.
yeah.
So he doesn't
Do
care
you-
anything about what's going on over
Do
there.
you think that
basically.
Samus could make any contacts of other homeless people in the area?
Yeah, I have a superpower I can activate.
That's right.
So I guess on Sunday I'll activate my hoboism.
You got hobo?
Yeah, I don't know if you know that, but every character has like a superpower.
Based on your,
It's written in
yeah,
the
so
book.
based on your background,
Yeah, like a dilettante.
your dilettante is
It's money.
Yeah, basically you can use your
A
money
money tree?
to.
Money to do whatever you
Let
want.
me snap my fingers on a money
You
tree
can use
up
your
here.
money as a way of accomplishing a different skill. That was
Yeah.
one of the. If you take a look at the occupation
Okay.
description, each occupation has its own thing. I'm pretty sure that was
Nate's
the
finding it
dilettante.
for you.
You
Yeah,
may use your
that
credit
was,
rating pool to call on personal
calling
connections
connections in any
endeavor.
field.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah. So
And my ability
So that's my superhero power?
essentially,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, I already
And
got
my
that.
ability is to contact a bunch of homeless people in any region.
Like summon them like Aquaman.
That's right.
Exactly. That's the greatest.
that's really wrong.
Just the sewers open
Oh,
and
what is
homeless
it?
people just come out.
Turtles.
What is it you're looking to get from your
Have they noticed?
hobo army?
Have they noticed anybody going missing? Any weird activities, that type of thing, in that area, in the area?
What you're able to pick up in fairly short order is that. So you know how hobos had markings
Yeah.
that they would leave.
Yeah, I have that language.
Yeah, and you have noticed the signs around the area that basically say
Like
steer
warnings?
clear. Yeah. Yeah, basically from the subway station, there's signs saying, you
Say
really
no
don't
go.
want to be in this neighborhood.
Where are those signs at?
So basically, it's a perimeter from about 3-4 blocks out from Mabel's.
So surrounding Mabel's.
Surrounding Mabel's in
Mhm.
Harlem.
Hobo no go. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hobo no go.
It's a
I
circle
like it.
with a line through it.
it's a little more discreet than that. But
Yeah. So we have to use your Ninja Turtle friends then to do this one.
Actually, I just bought a bunch of Ninja Turtles today on eBay. I'm so happy.
I probably have some I can sell you.
No, these are like the metal ones from 1986.
Oh, the
That's
Dark
the
Horse
Dark
ones?
Horse
Awesome.
ones. In
Nice.
original blisters, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
You gonna paint them up or you just?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Shredder, Splinter.
Wow.
Since we're talking about them in the feed, once you get them painted, we'll put them up on the Facebook page.
Yeah.
I don't know, I might have to snatch those up.
I-
Everything's for
Before you-
sale.
I know it is.
I haven't
Everything's for
got
sale.
3 little Mousers.
Oh.
I might have to snatch some of them up for you. Master Splinter's a must.
Well, they're 25mm scale, so they're only like a half-inch high.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Okay, I'm just
It goes in a
warning.
nice little case. Just fine like that.
That's awesome.
Okay, enough of Ninja Turtles.
So I guess it's Monday
But I
then?
can call on
Well,
my
is there
connections.
anything-
I think I might have
we
a
had
connection with
Sunday
the
we
turtles
wanted to talk.
in the sewers.
I think Sunday you guys wanted to talk with Rebecca.
Yeah, I did.
And I want to get more of us together to do the talking because
I don't talk
so many
very
years
well.
of drinking, I get really fuzzy on details like real quick.
Like your character, or
No, kind of out of game. But maybe my character too. Nate's a good talker. I'm sorry, what's your character's name?
Sean?
What I like to call the seasoned players.
Right.
We're newbies. And Rich is just waiting to die.
No, he's waiting to watch everyone else
Watch
die.
it. Exactly.
You are my entertainment.
That's
That's
what
why I'm here.
I did not know that until you guys just said that. That's exactly what he's doing.
By the end of this
He's waiting to
campaign,
watch
Diane,
everybody
we will
else
have
die.
all gone through 3 or 4.
And he's going to be Santa.
And he'll still be the homeless guy.
And we find out that he's
drawing in
actually
the
the
subways.
mastermind the whole
Oh,
time.
the whole
Yeah,
time.
it's a twist.
He's the head of
there's
the
the
Shyamalan.
twist.
Oh no!
Come on now.
We're gonna have like the final battle's gonna be against Alexander.
What you don't
Oh,
know is
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
he and Alexander are really good friends.
Right. Right.
He wasn't actually.
He walks into the room at the final
just like,
thing.
"Make it
and
look
just
real,
like
man.
walks
Just make
up
it
to
look
the
real."
room. What's up?
There's a person in the back that did something to him. He
They
polluted
gotta
you with
believe
his-
it. Come on.
He polluted you with his
Just enough to bleed, not enough to kill.
evil.
I'll say I fell down the
We were both on
stairs.
the boat. Do it here. No, man, do it here. Do it here. No, wait.
Okay. So, I'm sorry. Sunday we're talking to a reporter. Is that what's going on Sunday?
And I'm doing my
Super,
scouting.
yeah. Super hobo tricks. In which case we find out that, surprise, surprise, don't go around Maples.
Well, that's you probably could have found that out on Saturday, really, when you were guys
Okay.
were making your way through the neighborhood. So Sunday morning, you folks are meeting with Rebecca at Prospero House. Is everyone there?
Yes, I'll go with
Okay.
Yeah.
So she comes in. She's got her notepad, a briefcase full of papers.
Are we
Rebecca,
just gonna hand over the
I think
archive?
first we're going to see how far down a rabbit hole she wants to go. Will she take
Oh,
the blue pill
I'm with.
or
I'm
the
with
red
this-
pill?
Just
You,
such a hard question.
I think we should just have out, like, what I think I'll do is I will separate all the stuff about New York alone in one folder.
We've already got that. It's already in a folder.
Yeah, this is New York. But I will leave an open binder with other divided paperwork
Okay.
on the table too,
Okay.
to sort of like entice her,
Sure.
so she can
Set
tell
the
us,
scene.
set the scene. How much does she want to get involved?
And I think this is part of the New York. There you go. We can throw some more.
Yeah, she's intrigued by the big
Exactly.
evidence tag on it.
So you
Yeah.
leave her out like the
You take
Shanghai
the blue
stuff and
pill.
all that stuff out there too, just for her.
You wake up
to
tomorrow
see what
believing
she
whatever you
wants.
want.
Believing steak tastes amazing.
Yeah.
Being a
haven't
reporter,
read
she
that
should
already?
Or you
know
take the
what
red
that
pill.
I'm sure.
Did I
Right.
flip them?
It's a good prop, though. I think to like
Yep.
have her really interested in what we gotta say.
You haven't read the.
This will probably
Uh-uh.
take some
No.
time to talk to her about all this. 'Cause
Yeah.
I assume that
Yeah,
she'd be
'cause-
interested enough to go through
Yeah.
all of
This might be even be amazing to me.
Yeah.
Since I'm like, wait a minute, what do we got going on here?
So, good morning, folks. She introduces herself. You do in turn as well, I assume. So, you said you needed some information from me and that you had some information to share.
Yeah.
I do have some records, but first, I'd really like to know what's drawn you into this and what is it you're looking for?
Or masochistic. We like inflicting pain upon ourselves.
What about an idea, but a group of individuals who have an agenda that has world-altering ramifications?
Talking about some kind of conspiracy?
More of a cabal than a conspiracy.
Yeah.
Cabal that's set out to alter the world?
Yes.
It's going to need an awful lot of supporting evidence before the Times is going to see fit to report it. We're not a paper that just is prone to printing flights of fancy.
Oh, of course not. That's not what we brought you in
You're going to have to tell me a little bit more.
here. Where do we start?
Let's start with New York.
believe that you were acquainted with a good friend of mine who's recently passed, Father Sullivan.
I do remember meeting Father Sullivan.
Well,
He was instrumental in helping Mr. Hilton Adams escape death row and imprisoning Captain Robeson for the covering up the string of murders that were taking place.
and
The string of murders that didn't precisely end after Captain Robeson went behind bars.
That's right.
And did you ever investigate into what these murders were for?
Motives seemed pretty complex behind that, and Captain Robeson didn't seem to be the actual murderer behind all of them. It's something about, well, as the story goes, some kind of religious fanatical death cult.
And what's your opinion?
Well, I'm afraid I don't know all that as much as I should about different African tribal religions. It certainly seemed like one of those was the basis for this. Hadn't realized they were prone to be so bloodthirsty, though.
What if he told you they were still active in Harlem?
It explains some of these disappearances that have taken place over the past few months.
And what if we told you that there are those just like them active in London and in Shanghai?
Didn't know there was a big African migrant population in Shanghai.
No, that's the cabal part of the story. Is there's not, but these different groups seem to be working towards a single objective. We don't know what that objective is just yet. I don't think Solly or Mr. Steele knew either.
I tend to think of it this way. Think of all the three biggest monotheistic ideas, right? You have Judaism, Christianity, and Muslim, right? All stemming from one Genesis, Abraham. Similar idea. One Genesis, one type of God, viewed in three different ways, but all working together.
I thought there were more Hindus and Buddhists. I mean, numerically speaking.
Monotheistic.
Oh.
Thanks, Richard.
I'm just here to help.
And there are.
You brought me along. It's your fault.
So, you think this cult has different branches?
Yes.
Do you have evidence that there's murders happening in these other cities as well?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That file you're putting out there just says New York. Do you have files for...
We do. Now mind
Who
you,
else have you offered this story to?
you're the first.
And then you've looked through those notes.
Before you do that, people died gathering this. Is that something you're willing to step into?
You say there's a story that's could be altering the world. It's the kind of thing worth dying for.
Pretty noble.
How you get a Pulitzer.
I appreciate your
Well, that's
vision.
my work.
Well, let's start with the first
I
one.
think we should start with New York. There have been murders that the police seem to have not pieced together as being a part of the same string of murders that has been happening over the course of the last 2 years.
More likely deliberately have been looking
Or that. Since the Robson's arrest, clearly those murders have not stopped. But now no department is willing to piece them together in the way that a reporter such as yourself can.
and there are one at least willing detective wanting to look into it and denied access to it.
Who's that?
Pool.
Lieutenant Poole, out of the
Seven.
Oh. I know the name. He was involved in the Jackson Elias murder, I believe.
That is
which
correct.
is sort of the genesis of this story as well.
Indeed. Well then. Keep talking. You have my attention.
we'll lay out everything. What the hell? Why not? We'll start with Meriwether and how they became acquainted with Jackson.
You can go all the way to Peru if you want.
Peru, New York, London, and then our branches that we have leading towards
I think
Australia
this always ends up in Egypt.
and Egypt and Kenya.
Kenya.
And of course,
Oh, there's no notes on Egypt.
of course, we're going to have to, until this story is ready,
And there's all
none
our
of this
stuff in
is to be
Egypt.
put out.
They don't have that stuff.
Because we will talk about Carlisle as well.
If I'm going to write an article about this, the Times fact checkers are going to need to go through these notes.
Can we pay them to work faster?
Where's the Xerox machine when you need
Right.
it?
Right.
I'm hesitant.
So let other people go through the notes.
Yeah.
Well, I think the lawyer associated with this house, Carlson, Ken.
All I know is I made
that's
one
the
set,
Kensington is
and I mailed them back to New York. I didn't make multiple copies.
is the publisher.
Oh,
Right.
Carlton Ramsey.
Yeah, Ramsey. I think he should be involved too. He knows what's going on as well. But we need a lawyer here. We're gonna have these notes gone through. But beyond that, I think. I mean, what do we need here? We need assistance. We need your eyes on just New York. We need you to publish a story, piecing these murders together, and about how the police department is doing their job.
I can't promise you what any story is going to say until I've got all the facts to write it.
Well, we have 2 years of murders. We have the same kind of MO. We have
telling her about what's happening
a corrupt police chief.
It's up to you guys.
We have other police departments in areas that are refusing to look into these murders and piecing the puzzles together, or puzzling the pieces
My
together.
advice is just blew stuff
I can
out.
personally assure you, based off of
And
What's the worst that
speaking
can
with
happen,
the
right?
coroner here, that these murders that come across his table all have the exact same method.
Well, we can sure ask him to confirm that on the record.
That's
Yeah.
public record.
Yeah, that's public record. And
As far as the rest of it goes, we need to get more information ourselves on
If you can turn those notes over and get the Times going through them. Once we've got everything confirmed, I can get this article. I can start writing this article and putting it together for release. But without fact checkers going through that, there's no way the editor is going to approve that.
And you know, the other problem we're going to have is when we leave New York and that story gets released,
Yeah.
they'll know we're coming to wherever.
Yeah,
well,
wherever
they
we're
don't know
going.
we're coming specifically,
Unless
but they'll just know
we
we've
ask
been.
you to keep those places out of it. Oh, we can't.
It's going to lose an awful lot
Yeah,
of
it's
impact
gonna-
on the
right,
story.
Right. Yeah.
You're saying this is a global conspiracy?
I
You
know.
don't want me to...
I just stopped myself.
All right.
There's a cost. That's all I'm saying.
They
Yeah,
all
well, I
they all
think-
probably know we're coming anyway.
I think New York is
They all probably know it
the
anyway.
key right
Why?
now.
Because what we've already done.
I don't think we have enough.
We're known.
anything.
They know us like they've
They don't
got
know
to.
us.
They don't know us, but
it. Oh, and we're
They
not
know
going to be
me.
in this
As
story.
soon as we go into any place, any country, they're on us.
You're
Or that.
Jim. I'm Francine.
Right.
She's
Right.
Henry.
All the
Right.
other characters are dead, so any knowledge of who's who is
They
gone.
just know I'm coming.
Yeah.
And according to this article, you're Doreen.
right.
Dorian Gray.
Yeah.
No, like Doreen Smith or Jonathan Doe.
Yeah. I don't think you would be giving our names out in this story.
Recognize the
Protected.
importance of discretion.
Thank you.
I think the small stories right now is what is needed. So the stories about how police corruption has led to inadequacies in the police department.
Yes. That's what we
Starting
need to
off with small stories and piecing these.
An article like
Puzzle.
that's going to have to be run through the mayor's office before we can print it.
Well, I mean, you have information about bodies washing up. You're going to have a
I
coroner's
recognize
report.
that, but we don't want to create a panic either.
How do you feel about going to get a drink with me later? What?
I am not flustered.
I'm coming too.
What's happening? What's happening right now?
It seems awfully sudden.
Well, I just kind of had this thought, you know, we're all talking about Mabel's and everything, and there's going to be something else happening before, or have we? I lose myself. We've told you about Mabel's, right? This is all we know. This is one specific place, but we've been talking about the fingers of this whole thing.
You have not mentioned Mabel's.
Have not mentioned Mabel's.
What's
you just
happening
did.
at Mabel's?
What's happening at Mabel's? Mabel's.
Well,
It's part of our, hasn't made it into our evidence yet, but it's just something that we've come across as of late.
Who's Mabel?
Oh, I thought you would have known Mabel's in Harlem. No stories from there?
Fat Mabel's?
Yes.
Certainly heard of Fat Mabel's bar. You think she's involved in the murders?
I think that she's been affected.
We think you should go
You think
there
she's
and
dead?
check out the
I
basement.
don't
No.
think she's dead.
yeah.
Fat Mabel's is where this cult is congregating.
They are.
We think so. We think the head of it, a gentleman by the name of Silas, he was the one who was implicated in some of the
The
murders.
one who ran Juju House.
That's right.
Think of it as Juju House 2.
He's still active. We think he is the mastermind behind what is happening, piecing all this stuff together. We think he is the mastermind. We haven't seen him. We've heard from Elle here that Mabel said that he is a resident there.
And you want me to go for a drink there?
Well, do you want that Pulitzer or not?
I'd kind of like to start going through the notes first.
Oh, I thought you said you had people for that.
I've got people to fact check it after I read it.
I'll get some coffee going.
I would like to go stake out Fat Mabel's at some point before
We've already got
Wednesday.
people
We got people
photographing.
doing that.
Yeah,
Remember you
I'll
hired
find-
two
I'll find
guys
it.
from...
Dropped off
the
cameras and
Hellfighters,
everything.
Yeah.
Stay away.
Right, stay away.
But you do have a great idea about using your contacts to learn about what
What's
is
coming
what is
through
going
there.
through there.
What's
yeah.
going
Or
through
feeding
there,
your
what's going on.
minions to the cultist machine, that's also acceptable.
Yeah.
Does,
You know
um,
what? Sometimes it's for the
Rebecca
greater
know
good.
Silas? Does she know him?
I think nobody really knows him except for you, and I think the reporter.
Rebecca?
Yeah.
Yep.
She knows him?
Well, she knows the
Knows
name.
the name.
She's...
Knows the name. Okay. She never met him.
No.
Although, I'm going to put on coffee and start going through these.
I'd like to take these back to the Times.
That would be...
How long is it going to take your
Some-
guys to go through them?
It's an awfully thick folder. Then do all the legwork to fact check everything in here.
I don't want something
It's going to take
disappearing.
Yeah.
at least a week. Probably
Mm.
2.
We don't know who's
We don't know who.
I'm not afraid of that disappearing. I'm afraid of people doing
her
the legwork
disappearing.
to fact check disappearing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More sacrifices to the cultists.
This may be very dangerous.
I work for the New York Times. We can't just take the word of anyone.
Well, then why don't you go have a drink with me? Back to that.
So, even at that, like the whole, you won't write just a little bit of what you were asking to write, just a small story of what is going on with the corruption, or
I need to have some evidence in order to write that article. You're presenting me a stack of evidence. I can't just take your word for it. I've got to go through your evidence and make sure that it all makes sense and then write the article if the evidence presents to me.
I just not
And it's-
comfortable.
but
And
that's
it's
just
not that
evidence
I don't
of
want
New
you to
York
do that.
she needs to do that though.
What
she
I'm
doesn't
saying
need all
is-
of it to go through.
No, I don't think.
What
we're
we're
gonna do
saying
all that.
is, when you go to fact check, or the people that you have go to fact check and start asking questions about these things, the chances
Some of
that-
these facts they're going to fact check are newspaper articles. I don't see how they're going to be taking a whole lot of their life in their hands to make sure that newspaper article's legit.
And there's also some powerful people that this implicates.
And if Silas is is
well,
powerful
as
as we
she
think,
mentioned earlier, unless we bribe the mayor, the article's never going to get past his approval to be released anyway.
Now, well, if something's going to cause public panic, it's not going to.
Yeah, I mean, right now the mayor's office was probably looking
If the
at these
article gets
murders
written
as
after
just,
we've dealt with these people, then there's no public panic factor any longer.
yeah, if there's a conclusion at the end of the story, like, and the problems are solved.
That is the question.
Take the New York folder.
All right. You guys are all cool
Yeah.
with her taking it?
Yep.
Yeah.
So do you want to physically take it away from us? We can't even reference it ourselves.
That's probably a good idea.
No, that's not fair. Wait a minute.
Who has speed reading?
I don't know.
Eidetic memory.
There's
That's the.
more in there too.
This New York?
Yeah.
That's all of our
That's
maps.
all the maps.
No.
Oh, so we don't need
That
that
right
one.
there
The
is
evidence
the
folder that's in your
Carlisle,
hand.
Yeah, the Carlisle stuff.
Never to be seen again.
Right?
Uh-huh.
Now, the Carlisles are friends. We're not implicating them. You
It sure
understand?
sounded like you were.
You're saying that the genesis of some of this is because Carlisle.
Stick to New York only
Yeah.
right now.
Take the Carlisle idea as something further that we'll keep feeding information to you about.
There was some confidential information in that one of those folders about Erica Carlisle and about
That's that whole other separate file.
Well, we can also tell her that Carlisle has been returned to New York. That can be part of the story too.
In a wheelchair.
Well, not dead.
I think
I mean,
discretion.
he was remembered. The newspaper said that he was killed in
Yeah.
Kenya or whatever.
Yeah, and I think discretion here is going to
Yeah,
be
that
very
would be a
important.
good point. Hey.
So we
this
have a
is
physical person that's still alive.
live.
That is, if that's not evidence,
Right. That's
That there's
a
a
good point.
conspiracy. Yeah.
no, that the whole Kenya thing was a lie. We're disproving what the previous news report was.
Yeah, but that goes to strengthen the idea of a conspiracy.
Yeah.
That other places have been lying about the destruction of Carlisle, about the whole crew.
But you're saying stick with New York for right now?
I think we should stick with just New York for right now.
Can we come to an agreement
But
on
Carlisle's part of New York. But he's
An
also
awful
part
lot
of
of
Kenya.
things in
and he's
this
also part
folder
of
you're
everything
passing
else.
off to me
Yeah,
that
but I think
isn't
that's like-
about New York.
I think that's sort of
It's
like a
too
little
big.
higher on the
Yeah.
pyramid here. That I don't think we
Are
should.
you saying that they
venture
got
there.
mixed up?
Well, I'm saying I see references to London, Australia, Kenya, several references to Kenya.
But
Yeah.
that's how the spider web ends up back.
That is how the beginning of the investigation, really started.
It's going to be hard not to reference those other countries.
Do what you can to keep it centered.
Why don't you just give me all the information?
We
Give
still
him the
need it.
folder.
Nah.
No,
Hand it all over.
I don't agree. No.
This guy.
I would not.
We are still
You
familiarizing
say you need
ourselves.
hard evidence, right?
We're still familiarizing
I do.
ourselves with the information in these folders.
I guess we get to
Hard
keep our
evidence.
passports. That's about it. So we can escape. We can leave the country.
Yeah.
It's Monday.
It is Sunday right
morning.
now. Sunday morning.
Sunday morning we give
And you
everything
basically
to our
want to go to your
record.
editor and say, "This is the idea I have," but you guys are not going to be publishing things for a
She
while.
can't go to it yet.
I need to know what the information is before I can guarantee you what kind of article I'm going to write.
I'm not looking to force your hand on or your pen. All I'm saying is, we are still investigating this. We came to you so that
We
we can
write
choose.
articles about current investigations all the time. We publish articles about current investigations all the time. Public needs to know if there's a murderer on the loose. You're telling me there's not just one, but a whole cult full of them? that's true, the public needs to know, and the mayor's office needs to agree to let the public know. But I can't write that article unless I see the evidence of it. And if you're telling me there's people in other cities that are in danger, well, the New York Times wants to protect those people too and make sure those people are aware of the risks they're facing.
Well, I think you need to be aware of the risks that you're facing by publishing those articles. So when you're doing your research, you need to be as discreet as you can. I mean, from notes in our other files here, I mean, there are some very powerful people.
Mr. Kurtz, I am a professional.
I'm cut you off right there.
How about this? Did you hear about something that happened near Singapore not that long? A couple of weeks. Large light in the sky. Sheriff's reported something.
I did. Are you saying that was connected to all this?
It's a good possibility.
Samus here says so.
Are you willing to tell me more about that on the record, Samus?
Sure. I'm Dorian Gray, right? Isn't that what we're doing?
Jonathan Doe.
Sure.
Tell me.
What am I supposed to tell? Because I didn't hear the first half of the conversation.
I left the room.
No, I wasn't paying attention, so I didn't hear what you guys said.
That the light that was seen
in
out.
Singapore.
Is directly connected to what we're talking about.
Oh, the explosion.
You know about that?
Well, I was on a boat, and I saw the light in the sky also, but I wasn't on the island when the explosion occurred.
The explosion occurred on an island?
It did. We have a map.
Do you know the name of the island?
Dragon.
Yeah, it's the Cthulhu volcano island.
Grey Dragon Isle.
Grey Dragon?
Grey
Not
Dragon.
Cthulhu volcano island? It
Green
sounded so
Dragon.
much better.
I like my name of it better.
Gray Dragon.
Green, I thought.
No, it was gray. It was
Oh.
gray. Had you been to this island?
I have never been on the island. That is the truth.
That's the truth. I have not been on the
I've seen the
I
island,
just
but
saw
I've
the
not
light.
been.
That's it. Right? You just saw the light.
All my friends went
All
on the
my
island
friends
and
died.
they never came back.
Are you telling me that's where Declan and Sully died?
Yep.
Really? So there were American citizens killed.
Yeah, and the
By the
Japanese, Navy
Japanese
was
Navy.
involved. That's right. There you go. There's your story.
Took us all that time.
Well, that's
That's great.
certainly.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That's good to know.
Well, that could certainly lead to a very interesting article. I would very much like to see your notes from Shanghai.
We only have to wait 20 more years for that to really pop off, too.
May I have those notes as well? Then?
No.
So I'm being outvoted. I'm more than willing to hand everything over.
Have at it.
What?
All right.
Honestly,
I'll just flip
that's
my
not a
page.
good idea.
No, it's not.
I'll put it this way.
Use Crystal
She'll either
Notes
believe it or
provide.
she won't.
Yeah, but dude, you just gave her
You
all
gave
that.
her
Everything.
everything we know.
We
like
have
the
all our stuff.
ritual.
Not the ritual.
No. I have a translation of that. I made 3 copies
Okay.
of
And we're
the...
getting that back.
Well, the ritual...
You
We
don't
are
know
getting
we're
that
gonna get
back.
that.
Yeah.
Okay, so
As
long
soon
as
as
we
we're
have-
through fact checking it, if you'd like, I can
I'm
have.
just
What if
saying.
it disappears?
We
I'm
can
just
copy
saying
down
our
all this
game-
information.
What if
Yes.
Rebecca's found dead? Where is that stuff going? Where,
Yeah.
Where
New
are
York
we gonna-
Times.
No,
Who
where
are
are we
you
gonna
gonna
get our
go
stuff
to?
back?
I assume Rebecca's
Well,
going to go to the New York Times.
Just
and
be an
they will-
Indian, give her and get it back.
We didn't give her...
No,
we didn't
she's
give her
getting
the
her-
books with the people's skin on it. We didn't give her, like,
Yeah.
that stuff.
Doesn't matter. We still
Yeah,
give her all of our
what we
information.
gave her, Nate, is the equivalent of all the notes we've been taking.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
That's
she's
all.
going to be as
All
as
the
far as
notes
we
and all
are.
the newspaper clippings.
Right.
Yeah.
Except that we know that there's supernatural crap out there, and she doesn't.
That's exactly right.
So they'll
Well,
either
I
look
don't
at it
even
all
know
and be
that
like,
there's
So
this
what
is
you're
who
saying is we don't need the
or
notes.
some of her fact checkers will go crazy.
So what you're saying is we don't need the notes?
No, I'm not saying we don't need the notes. They're
Well-
going to transcribe them. We'll get them back.
Maybe. What if they disappear and we don't get them back?
Well, the hell then.
What if the people disappear?
Yeah, but I mean, the same thing could happen if, like, we're leaving all our notes here at the Prospero House. That one day we come here and this
And
place
it's burned
is
down.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
And
So-
the proprietor has been flayed and is hanging on top of them.
yeah. So
While deep ones are masturbating.
owning
I don't
those
know.
notes
Who knows?
is dangerous.
Everything can go up in flames. Or an A-bomb.
But
You know
so
that.
you're not turning up. You guys do have a couple of mythos tomes, right?
Yeah, like
yes.
3 or 4.
Where
I think somebody should go with the notes to be, for them. I think somebody.
And then we have a
really
ton of
should stay with
stuff
the
in
notes.
Egypt.
Yeah.
That's where all the paintings are, the statues, the rest of the books.
What you're saying?
You like her. You stay with her.
I'll spend the night with her.
It's going to take more than that.
It's gonna be weeks.
I know. Weeks. Oh,
That's real tough.
yeah. It sounds painful.
Because when the people start figuring
Hang
out
out
what
with a
they're saying,
20-something.
they're going to be
Right.
in danger.
Attractive. Yeah,
Right.
That'll be rough.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
I
good
think
ones are-
there's some things that are in that are actually
But
not giving her.
do you guys really trust me?
We're not giving her like the diagram of an A-bomb. We're not
Oh, you're
giving-
not?
No.
Okay, well that's important to know.
Yeah,
So
like
that's staying.
I think
Why?
just like the equivalent of the note
stole
stuff.
it.
I was gonna
Apparently-
say he knows what's in that. You.
Yeah.
I'm just saying what they'll either look at it and say this is all hooey, which I'm having a feeling editors will be like, so you're telling
What
me that
crackpot
a
gave
bat
you this?"
creature in Australia.
And remember, I took
I feel like
some
the
pieces
people
of
who are
that
going to
bomb.
proofread it are going
They're
to be
in the.
dead.
They're in Egypt.
They're going to find. They're going to start reading things that are
Yeah.
going to get them in trouble. And
How
they're
is
gonna be
that
dead.
any different than us?
I think the notes part of what's in there
They're
is-
not as good as
and
us.
the newspaper clippings and stuff like that is what's going to her.
All right. So tell me what didn't go to her. Write that down.
Well,
Let's see
see
the
that.
file.
Yeah.
you
Okay.
gave her the Carlisle
Yeah, I think.
medical report, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
we'll give her that.
There's your forearm.
All right, so we'll have a pile of stuff that is going to her and a pile of stuff that
you,
isn't.
you don't even need to separate it. Just
A half
write,
an hour later.
write
Just
down
write it.
what is not going to her.
I think it's going to take a half hour.
No, well,
So there's a ritual in there,
There is.
and
yeah, no
arcane sigil.
no arcane stuff, no magic, no.
What's the
Cthulhu.
arcane sigil look like?
This is fine.
Is that the upside down?
This is not fun. Because this says a lot of occult stuff in it.
Yeah.
Peru, let's just put this off the side. That ain't happening. London.
See what you
some-
would have given.
Let's see what's in London.
There you go. I'll check out China here.
That's fine.
See, at least when I go off the rails, I don't give away all of our evidence. All I do is ask a girl on a date. That's all I'm saying. Excuse me.
And that caused more commotion than anything, I think.
Rituals not. Articles
You know what to
will.
say.
Need something?
I'm just saying you move fast.
Yeah.
That's all.
You looked at me. Come.
She
Do
does.
you need something?
I was going to say you just
Everything
haven't
in here
upgraded
except
yet.
for the-
You'll get better as time goes on.
A-bomb
Okay.
diagram. Actually, my
So
character.
the map schematic, the
Kurt's-
bomb schematic.
Yeah, Kurt's probably grabbed this, and this is in his lab
Okay. Where is your lab?
at NYU.
Okay.
So when that
So you're
now
building
we know
an
where to
A-bomb
build the
down
bomb
there?
up.
No,
New York.
I've been studying it to
Well,
see
you're not
what
building
it
a
is.
bomb?
No,
Oh.
I don't think
Jack's
Kurt's
dead.
That could cleanse New York.
So.
Don't
No.
let my hands get on
Yeah.
it,
Stuff about Jack.
right?
Yeah, and stuff that he said we took notes of. So my notebook
Mhm.
is in there,
Yeah.
the equivalent of my notebook.
Yeah, basically, if it doesn't involve directly magical stuff,
Okay.
we'll toss it. away.
If you don't need to make a stability check to read it.
Yes. That's
Yeah.
no-
Okay. So
there's a
basically, you would have
litmus.
gone through and pulled anything that was explicitly occult.
Yeah.
Not like implementing stuff like you
Yeah.
know so and so knows so and so, but more along the lines of this is
Here's
how
how
you
you do the ritual.
right. This is how you summon so and so.
And where are you putting all of those arcane, basically directions?
That will have as a separate file that
Top secret. Top secret file.
we will keep at Prospero.
Okay.
So
Okay.
all of that. So she's got all that.
Yeah. So she takes that with her. Is it? And it sounded like Elle was going to escort her back to the Times to make sure
Sure.
stuff stayed
I'm sure Elle will
safe-ish.
escort,
Was anybody else going, or was it just going to be the two of them?
Oh man, I hate when you do that.
Huh.
Do we split the party?
When would the party ever stay together? Only in times of crisis.
Does anybody else want to go with Elle?
Where are they taking her back to?
New York Times.
With all of our notes and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. No maps, of course.
I guess I can go with Elle. I'll walk with her.
Okay. So Trinidad and Elle are going back to
So
the
I make
Times
sure Elle comes back.
with Rebecca.
They're leaving us to form Charlie's Angels.
Samus, what are you doing?
Well,
So this is basically late afternoon,
yeah,
evening
since
of
I've
Sunday
already
the
done
19th.
my hoboism yesterday,
Yeah.
I don't really have any. I don't really have any plans. My afternoon's free.
Hanging out under the bridge,
Come on now.
watching all the other hobos go by.
And Kurtz,
wasting
what are
time.
you doing Sunday afternoon and evening?
Just hanging out. I don't know. I don't
Hanging
know.
out where?
Probably Prospero House.
Okay.
I'm
And
gonna go back to the hospital
Doctor?
and get transcripts of the coroner's reports on the specific cases so that I can get that to
Okay.
the New York Times.
All right.
She left me some notes. Actually, Rebecca left
Mm-hmm.
me
Yeah.
some notes. Then I want to go through those notes.
Sure. That seems reasonable. And where were you going, Samus?
I'm probably just gonna hang out. Maybe I'll hang out at the museum. That's usually where I get in trouble.
Okay.
So I'll go to the museum, hang out there. That way, in case I need a skill, I can justify it.
Sure. Absolutely. That makes sense. So the afternoon passes largely uneventfully. The Times fact checkers get to work in short order on the notes. And Rebecca's also going through it, and she asks you guys some questions. Asks you to clarify a few things that are in the notes as she's going through them. And Kurtz, can you give me a sense trouble roll? And tell me if you're spending points.
Yeah.
Were you at the Prospero's house?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I will spend a point.
Okay.
Not 2 points.
I'd spend 2.
Now you're gonna roll a 2, and you will have wished. You'll wish you have spent 2.
Oh no. You
Oh my God, Rich! What is
You come
wrong
up with
with
a
you?
one?
No,
I
a
You do
two.
that to me all the time.
That's right. I already know what's gonna happen.
Did you just cuss
I
me?
already know what's gonna happen.
It's
just
just
a thing.
causality right there.
Everything has already happened before.
Yeah.
So what was your total?
3.
All right. So about 6 o'clock. It's March. Sun is mostly down. It's late dusk, right? You're sitting in the Prospero House offices.
It's April.
It's
It is
April.
April.
My bad. A little later then, probably about 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
The sun has already gone down. It is raining. You're the only one there. It's Sunday evening. Publishing house. It's not exactly a hop-in place on Sunday evening.
Mm-hmm.
But you're still sitting there studying because for some reason you thought this was the best place to study. And you're pretty intent on it. You just found a few very interesting passages that, probably from one of the occult tomes, that are starting to come together with the bomb plans that you had found. And you're trying to reconcile some things as you're reading through it. And so you're pretty deeply in thought and very focused on that. And you've been at that for hours. And as you're sitting there studying, you're looking at the paper and you're really focused on it, and you notice that there's some water droplets on the page you're reading. As you
Fresh
look
or
down.
dried?
Very fresh.
Very fresh.
And you realize that the water droplets coming off your forehead. You're sweating pretty profusely.
I'm looking up.
Kind of surprises
like
you.
at the ceiling. Like, is there water?
And you look up, and it just distracted you. It broke your concentration because all the drops on the page. And you realize it's really hot in here. It's
Oh.
probably like 95 100 degrees, and that's smoke.
Oh.
Run,
Holy
Forrest.
Run, Forrest, run!
All right.
Do we have flea?
Do you want me to help you?
Yeah.
Grab all the notes and run.
Yeah.
Okay, that was my help.
Use more than a point in flee. That's my help too.
I do have flea.
What
Do you have
say?
preparedness?
More than
I
a
do.
point for
Awesome.
More than a
I'm
point.
So I put on my gas mask because I prepared this.
Your
I just-
firefighting outfit.
Right. I
Right?
just grab it from under the table, ready to go. Yeah, well, I gather all the stuff that I've been looking at, and in shock and in haste,
Mhm.
I try to wrap up whatever I'm working on,
Mhm.
either like in the tablecloth. I
Sure.
just grab
Yeah.
it, and then try to dash for the door.
Okay. So you grab the tablecloth, grab all the notes, grab a couple other probably file folders of notes that you guys had set aside, and a couple of occult texts that were on the list of things that do not go to the New York Times.
Yeah.
And you dash towards the door.
Yep.
Hurriedly, and you realize that this fire is pretty far along.
You gotta
As-
go out a window.
As you get to the door, yeah.
Sorry. Saw that coming.
The hallway
And you're on the
is
10th floor.
Right.
shrouded in flames, and there's smoke coming up. You are on the second floor.
It's not that far.
You ready to
can do
break
it.
a leg?
How old are
You can do it.
I'm young, actually.
You have
I'm
athletics.
Genius. I do. Well, I mean,
Do you want to run through the flaming hall, or do you want to try and go back and drop out the
I mean,
window?
is it like a conflagration, or is it just like fires along the walls and there's a path, and if I beeline right down the middle?
You got a
Come on
shot.
now.
You could try and beeline down the middle.
Yeah, well,
We're not going to
what you
recognize
do
you. You're going to
notice
be all burned
as
up.
you're doing this,
I don't have healing.
Don't take
you
that
see
risk.
that there was accelerant here. It
Yeah.
looks like somebody was splashing kerosene or gasoline on the walls.
Somebody's
Okay.
found you. They're
And my
burning
advice is
down.
you might want to spend 2 points this time.
yeah, right, okay. Yeah, well,
once you
How about you just be quiet, okay?
You don't want to
Just don't
know.
say
You don't want to
nothing.
know what he's gonna roll? Oh boy.
here's a question. I figured my character can probably do like a mind palace.
Okay, Sherlock.
Yeah, exactly. Is there a restroom with running water on this floor?
Absolutely.
It's down the hallway.
Absolutely.
I was thinking about grabbing a towel, like getting a towel soaked, and then putting it over my head, and then beelining.
Forget your
Would
head.
that
So
Put it
be
where
around
you
your
were
long?
sitting
Yeah,
to
we
study,
were
there was probably a pitcher of water and some towels. I mean,
Yeah.
that's not unreasonable.
Sure.
In
But there'd
that
be
time,
some
right?
cloth napkins and a pitcher of water.
Yeah.
All right, that's what I'm gonna do.
All right.
I'm gonna pour that water on some
Sure.
towels and
Yeah.
whatever's left over on myself or whatever.
Yeah.
Wrap it around my head and face and stuff.
And then you're doing the Santa Claus with your
With my bag of
tablecloth
stuff.
full of.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
And then sprint down the hallway. Okay. Yeah. So give me a fleet roll
Yeah.
as you're rushing
You
sprint
make
down the
points,
hallway
and your Santa
through
Claus
the
bag
fire.
burns up.
Shut up.
I'm going to go ahead and give you.
I have 4 total, so I'm gonna spend 2.
You better put
I'm
some of
gonna
that
go
water
ahead
on
and
that Santa Claus bag.
Give you a +2 to make it down the hallway before things
Get crazy.
get disastrous.
So already I got a 4. Cool. Nice. 10. 10.
Awesome. That's very helpful. So you go rushing down the hallway. You make it out the doorway, and you hear a shuddering crash and boom behind you as the
second floor.
as the third floor collapses down onto the second, and you're hurrying down steps. Because you got such a great roll, I'm going to give you a +2 bonus on a follow-up roll, which is the sense danger, as you come up to the doorway to run out of the building into the street.
Right. Superman it.
You got +2.
Kick
Go,
that
go,
door,
baby.
knock that cultist right
Do
out the
it.
way.
You're running.
2 more. 8.
Yay.
You see that there is a shadow. You see a shadow of somebody, and it must be from the flames above that are casting the shadow, but there's someone holding a pistol standing on the stoop right outside.
Oh, it's so scary. He wants you bad. He wants you bad.
How far away?
Well, from where the shadow is cast,
Stu-
you think he's just right outside the door.
You better run
Well,
back.
If you go out the door,
You're getting shot
yeah,
or
he's gonna
burned.
have a shot at you.
You can use your stack.
Run
Or-
back. Run
What
Well,
back.
the shock of me
Using the-
bursting through the door.
Using
might
the
be
door
a-
to knock his ass to the ground.
Well,
yeah.
the door
Would be
opens
a-
this way. He's on this side.
Oh.
Can I like Kool-Aid man it through the door and then like give him an elbow to the face?
You could try.
So,
Yeah, doors were made out of real
Now
wood
time
back
for a
then.
window, buddy.
It's
Window
a glass
time.
door.
It's window
Oh.
time.
Yeah.
You're on the first floor. It's
Yeah.
window time.
How badly after the second?
Remember,
third
the building
floor,
is collapsing
Yeah, the
behind
building
you.
has
Right.
collapsed.
So
on
you
you.
gotta
Collapsing.
Like
window or door. What
yeah,
you going
you
for?
don't have a lot of time.
Well, I don't want to be shot, so I'm gonna look for a window on the first floor.
All right. Yeah. So yeah, you don't have to roll. You,
All right.
you see there's windows that way, or you could run back and go out the other side of the building if you want. But there is the risk of more collapsing happening.
Side window,
All right. So you rush out.
away from the collapsing.
Do your best, Kool-Aid man, smashing out through the
Diving
window.
through the window with a
Yeah. Do
satchel.
you
of-
open the window first? Take the time to open it, or do you
How
use your
far are the
satchel to
flame-
smash the?
How big is the window?
Um,
I mean, is it like a bay window type thing, or
no, this is like think an office window. So it's probably, or not probably, it's going to be 4 panes, probably about that wide,
Oh,
and then 2 sashes.
okay, all right. Well, that's big enough for me and shit to get out.
Yeah, it's big enough for you to get out of. You're not going to have to squeeze. You don't have a ton of time here, though.
I'll
Do it.
dive out,
Okay.
and what I'll do is I think I'll put the bag of shit in front of me, so when I jump through, the bag takes the brunt of the
Sure.
the window shards.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're running at it like
And
Right,
hopefully,
like this and-
hopefully the gunshot.
And yeah, right.
And
Yeah.
hopefully you get up fast and run.
All right.
Yeah.
Because he's going to
So
hear
what
it.
is your plan afterwards? Are you going to go and attack this guy, or are you just going to run like
I'm
hell?
gonna keep running.
Just
Okay.
gonna run to the
So
bar.
give me another fling roll, and we'll see how this goes. Tell me if you're spending points. Go ahead and mark them off.
Yep. No, I don't want this dice. This dice ain't doing very good for me right now. 3
Total.
total.
All right. So you get the bag levered up. You smash through the window. You dive through after her and tumbling. And as you tumble, you catch an ankle and go sprawling outside. You're out of the building, so that's good. But you weren't able to get your feet under you and keep running. And
Okay.
So,
you hear a
how you make a character in this game?
I swear. Your expressions, I swear.
Well, there's so much noise from a collapsing building.
There is a lot of noise from the collapsing building.
What do you
But
roll a 6 anyway?
you hear a crack over that noise, and you have a shooting pain in your right shoulder.
Okay.
You've just been shot, and
Alright.
you took 5 damage.
I'm standing.
And running, I hope.
He still got you. At least he didn't kill you.
Remember, serpentine.
Yeah.
What you doing?
Well,
Run for it.
can I
Is there a
take
crowd forming?
It's a Sunday night. You're in a business district.
The fire, though.
It just started.
Oh,
I mean, you're
It just started. It's collapsed.
only a
Alleyways
couple of
run.
minutes. It just
Yeah,
started,
I-
but it doesn't take that long,
That
especially
doesn't.
when somebody dumps a lot of gasoline.
Can I take a quick
Gasoline?
glance, like?
Did he smell gasoline?
I mentioned that he saw the accelerant on
Yeah.
the wall.
Okay. It was like kerosene or something.
Okay.
I'll take a quick glance as I'm gathering up the stuff.
You
Just
see
the bag of shit. And
a
the-
man pointing a pistol at you. He's wearing a white overcoat, a hat. He's Caucasian, and glancing down, you see his left hand ends in a hook.
He has a hook.
Oh, that's
Yes! Yes!
leg it.
I'm gonna pick it up after I gather the stuff as quickly as I can, and I'm gonna run.
All right, give me another fleeing roll.
Last point here, people.
Why are you gonna flee from him? Go kill him!
He doesn't even know.
4.
All right,
It's true.
you hear another shot taken, but you're not hit.
All right.
You're not hit again.
Yeah. All right.
Where are you running for?
Anywhere. Anywhere but there.
Harlem.
His apartment.
Okay. So you're gonna
So I honestly don't know where.
you're
everyone
gonna
else is
take
staying.
off running, hail a cab.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Is that like deja vu?
I think somebody's checking the stream.
I'm trying to.
Right, yeah.
That was great.
Yeah, so you're able to hail a cab, and you get into the cab, and the cab is like, buddy, you need to get to the hospital. You should be calling an ambulance, not me. You're bleeding all over the place.
Drive.
You throw money at him as you say it?
Yeah. $1.
Where am I going? I'm taking you to the hospital.
Get going.
All right. He does. But yeah, he takes you to an ER.
Okay.
Do you look out the back window and see what the guy
Yeah,
with
I'm
the gun's
looking.
doing?
I'm looking.
You don't see anybody following.
But I see the Prospero house and
Burning. Yeah.
Publishing house is up in flames.
Yep.
He had a
'Cause that's
hat
where-
on, and did he have the red thing on the hat, or?
You didn't. You
Good
weren't
thing we
there.
Good
Yeah.
thing we
You
give
didn't
all that
notice
evidence to
anything.
Rebecca.
Yeah.
They're trying to get rid of the evidence.
Yeah.
No, he's not trying to get rid of evidence. He wants that stuff. He wants it all.
Yeah.
I told you they always know where we're at.
Obviously, he was with us the whole.
Well,
We need to stop him.
He knew
or-
where you guys were sending all the notes.
Yes.
Yeah. I think that's
He knows a
exactly
lot of
what
stuff.
he was after.
They always know where we're at. They're always watching us.
All right.
So you're going to the hospital.
Yeah. I guess so.
Okay. So yeah, he takes you to the hospital.
All right.
We're gonna come back to that. You're still.
Oh, that
Yeah,
hospital.
at the
I
hospital.
don't know which one.
No,
it's-
I think that's actually pretty fitting that you'll be at the hospital when.
when
He
comes
gets
in.
rolled in on the
Yeah.
party like, dude!
It's like I'm about to leave. Like, thanks for the notes, guys.
Yeah.
And, what the hell?
You're getting ready to leave, and you hear him screaming about, "No, you can't take my notes."
Yeah.
You guys are still at the Times, and while you're there, you hear actually.
Scuttlebutt.
You hear somebody talking about a fire that's happening, and the address goes.
Strikingly strikes a
Strike-
chord.
Strikes
like,
a chord, and you realize that the fire is at Prospero House.
which we knew he was at.
Yeah.
So I get up. I take a run to the publishing house and see what's left.
Okay, so you're gonna head to the publishing
Yeah, I'm
house.
gonna head.
Trinidad, are you going with her? Or are you gonna stay at the Times?
What's Rebecca's reaction?
I don't really want to go to the publishing house. No, that's burning. I don't want to go there.
You don't want to save your friend?
No.
Okay.
That's what friends are for.
I don't really want to save him. I just want to make sure that we have a. Well, wait a minute. Rebecca has all the notes. We're with Rebecca. Yes?
She
Not
has
all
all the
the
notes you
notes.
gave her.
You have. Yeah, that's when I left. Okay.
Well, all the occult stuff. And
Yeah, I think I still would.
Okay.
I don't know where she's going.
Museums have closed for the evening.
Like at 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
I just find a nice bridge to hang out by.
All right. It's raining, but
But I'm under the bridge.
sure.
Why
You're a
would,
troll.
Why would you not?
why would you live in a $1,000 home when you could live underneath a $1 million bridge?
Bridge.
And you can
Seems-
always sell it to somebody too. You know.
I never looked at it that way.
Yeah.
Wow.
I told
Open
you
your
it's all about how
I
you
know, right?
See? Like I was saying before, like Bill Gates and the hobo both have money problems. It just depends on what your measurement is.
Yeah, you're able to get down to there without
Publish-
an issue.
and then
Publishing house,
See
and
the floors collapsed.
the building is basically collapsed. The fire department is frantically trying to keep the fire from spreading to the neighboring buildings. It looks ugly.
Do I have perception or something? Do I notice
So-
Anyone lurking, watching?
So usually that would be sense trouble for that, but I'll tell you right away, you don't notice anybody lurking. But do you have forensics or evidence collection?
I know where that's at, don't
They're both under technical abilities.
Yeah, they're
in
over
the middle,
to the
bottom
left.
middle
Got
column.
it. I have forensics,
You
yes.
do.
Yes.
So as you're looking around, the fire is down, but there's still a lot of light coming on because they put lights on in all the neighboring buildings, and there's probably some floods going from a couple of cars to try and illuminate, or a couple of trucks to try and illuminate things better. And you see what you recognize as a blood stain on the sidewalk right in front of Prospero House. It's a pretty big blood stain, and to your eye, it looks like somebody was just shot there.
Fresh.
Mm-hmm. Within the last hour.
Sure.
And there is a blood trail.
Well, I am going to not so obviously follow that blood trail.
Sure. You're able to follow it for about 4 blocks. You're not sure how somebody was able to
Get that far with losing that much blood.
And then it abruptly stops in front of a taxi stand.
What would be my next step? I'm gonna go back to the fire, and there's probably a policeman there, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Just gonna be the casual observer and ask what happened here.
Not sure why a publishing house would go down in flames so abruptly, but this thing went, by all reports, this place went down mighty quick.
Would I know or sense that there would be an accelerant, or should I ask them?
You said you had forensics?
I do.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, and they say there must have been some kind of accelerant.
Okay.
If it's raining so hard, you would think that would help put the fire out. Just saying.
Yeah, you would think.
So it's going pretty good anyway.
Yeah. It probably would help prevent it from spreading if it weren't for the winds.
Do I know where anybody else is staying? we
I'm sure you
exchange
guys would
that
have exchanged
information?
information.
So I would probably. Our meeting spot is now gone. His place, I guess.
Okay. So you're going to head to his place.
Yep.
At the hospital, you're going to get patched up to the tune of 4 points back.
Sure.
But a police officer is going to come in to question you because you showed up with a bullet wound.
I could help him out a little more.
What's that?
I could help him out a little more with that thing.
With the healing or with
Yeah,
the...
with the
Well,
healing.
whenever you meet up, right?
I'm at 11.
Oh, you're okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the officer's going to come in and say, so, who shot you?
I don't know.
Where were you shot? And don't tell me the shoulder.
I was shot in front of the Prospero house.
Talking about the building that burned down tonight?
Yeah.
Were you burning it down? Was it somebody that worked there is trying to just defend the place, stop you from burning it?
No, sir.
Am I in this room too?
Yeah.
Officer,
Yeah.
we have been with the Prospero House working on a project.
Yeah, it's usually the employees that want to destroy a place.
Not employees.
Do we look like the type of
We're
people that need to
researchers.
burn down an employee's place, sir? He's been assaulted in front of a place of business, and you want to question him about his motives?
Yes, I do.
I was doing some research there.
What sort of research?
Just
About somebody, was anybody cooking the books? Is that what this is?
no. I'm a physicist and chemist, sir. I work.
I don't hear a whole lot about physicists getting shot.
Yeah.
Which is probably a good reason you should look into this instead of questioning my friend.
I'm out of NYU. My name is Dr. Roland Kurtz.
All right,
And I
Dr.
have-
Kurtz.
I have dealings with the Prospero House. They have collected some just information about the rising field of science that I've taken an interest in. I'm doing research out of NYU, and I've just been there all night over the past couple weeks, just doing my studying there. I have a relationship with the owner of Prospero House.
And the owner's name is?
What is the owner's name? Kensington.
Well, I'm going to have to check with Mr. Kensington to confirm that. Is there anyone who would be out to hurt you?
No. I don't understand what's going on.
Is there some reason why someone would have burned down Prospero House?
Not that I can think of.
Did you see your assailant?
I did.
Can you give us a description?
He was a man about my height in a white suit with a fedora, a hook as one hand.
Which hand?
I don't know.
The one not holding the gun.
Right.
Yeah.
The left.
That's
The
the
left.
proper. That's the proper response.
That's the proper answer. There's a
hand.
gun and a hook. I'm not so sure.
Oh, I got an idea. You think it was that odd professor from Muscatonic? The one who was accusing us of taking his work even though it was public record? What was his name?
Alexander?
I think. Part of our research into our collaborative research on the emergence of sciences. Specifically, as it comes to medical sciences. There was a professor at Muscatonic, Alexander or something or other. He was very upset with us because it did not go well with his thesis on the anthropology of warfare or something. I don't know. He was rather
You
outraged.
met this professor before?
He was rather upset with us.
If he was so upset, you must have met him, or had you just corresponded?
More along the lines of he sent courier, I believe. What was that, about a year ago? It's been a while.
Do you have those communications?
I tossed them out.
Or they burned up in the Prospero House.
You seemed awfully protective of your notes. Could they be in those notes?
No.
May I take a look through your notes?
Hand them over.
I highly doubt he's going to answer any of your questions.
You wouldn't mind if I reviewed them?
Are you into quantum physics or into the occult?
The occult?
Yes. You haven't read my book?
No, I'm afraid I have not, Mr. Kurtz.
District 7 or 14?
Well, what people look at as mysticism 100 years ago, we now look at it as science.
Is located.
I
Where's the
see.
map of New York?
What did? Probably gave that away.
Yeah. No, we didn't give the map of New York away.
No,
I'm just.
She wants to know what district Prospero
This-
House
this-
is in. I have
Well,
no
this
idea.
cop. What district is this
Oh, that's an
officer from?
excellent
That's
question.
That's
I have
questioning.
absolutely no idea.
I don't either. I just know it's
I
not
don't know
14.
if the map of New York breaks down the
It's not
police
14 because
districts.
it's Harlem.
That's
No, it's not
right.
going to be the 14th, and it's probably not going to be the 7th, because Prospero House was not actually that close to the hotel where Elias was killed. So let's just pick a number and call it the 4th.
We could just roll.
Okay.
Roll for it.
Let's call it the 4th.
Okay, so it really doesn't matter.
No,
Got it.
it's not relevant to the discussion.
Okay.
Good question. It
Well,
could have
I
been.
didn't. I didn't want the police to be. Well, he could still be.
Not what he says he is.
Yeah, we've got one that's behind bars. You know, we don't know who's got what information,
Yeah,
and
I
I'm not
think-
one to trust cops.
I
so.
mean, we are also only one day in. I think nobody really knows who we are yet.
But we have not burned down Manhattan yet.
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 Give it time.
Have you ever read the Aleister Crowley? The
Crazy Brit.
Sacred Geometry?
No, I'm afraid I have not, Mr. Kurtz.
Yeah, then I am certain that any notes that I have will be absolutely beyond your head.
Keep that in mind. So, you think this Dr. Alexander may have been responsible for this? Seems an awfully extreme reaction for an academic, if I no slight intended. Is this a common issue in your field? This is perhaps the occult trying to do some kind of fire ritual?
I don't know about that.
Most
I just
likely not.
I had no idea that the man had a hooked hand. I do remember Alexander did lose his hand,
Yeah,
and
it
he was
could
the
be
only person I could
coincidence.
possibly think of who would be angry enough. I don't know about a cult issue, but there's definitely a monetary issue when it comes to publishing.
Fair enough. Well, he asks for your contact information. I assume you provide it.
Yeah.
Says that we'll be in touch, and he will. He's not sure if there'll be any further questions. Doesn't see any reason to be brought up on charges at this time. And, they'll take a look and see if they can track down this Dr. Alexander for him.
Cool. Good.
So, how do you guys want to proceed from there? The hospital isn't going to keep you overnight. They've got you patched up fairly well,
All right.
so you'll be discharged.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I get to his place. There's nobody there, so I'd end up back at the bar. Yes.
Back at the bar or back at the Times?
Oh, back at the Times. You're still there, right?
am.
Same thing.
Same thing.
It's New York.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go somewhere and tell somebody that place caught fire. You know, I don't know that anybody knows that.
We'll ring the Times.
Okay.
Yeah.
So by the time I get there,
Because I know
she
finding
already knows
Samus
what's
is going to be
on.
like a needle in a haystack in New York.
Pretty
City.
much, yeah.
But we did know that they were at the Times, and it'd probably take
Yeah.
some time
Yeah.
to be at the Times.
Yeah, and you've got
Thank you.
Rebecca's desk, so
Yeah.
what do you tell them?
Well,
Actually, you can
I'll
probably talk
ask-
to Trinidad directly.
well,
Trinidad.
Trinidad,
Sup?
you're up. Sup?
after you're done with the Times, meet at my hotel for some dinner. And
Well, yes, I will.
I had no idea you had those feelings.
I didn't either. And I don't even have to pay.
We
Meet you
have
at
some
your
information.
hotel
yes,
for.
a discussion. We need to talk about what just happened at the Prospero
Oh, you're
House.
so forceful. A discussion. Okay. Like, you're sending that from the hotel now?
No, we're at the
We're-
hospital.
Oh, you're still at the hospital?
Poor Kurtz has been shot
Oh.
by an old friend,
By an old friend.
one with a hook.
Mine
Do
was
I know this
speaking
old friend?
yours.
I bet it is.
You never met him, but I'm sure Rose talked about
This
him
used to be
at
really
length.
good. We go for a long time.
And Samus knows him real well.
I'll have to. What's his name?
Alexander.
Alexander. So why do you know why Alexander shot him?
Again, this is best to be said in a more private setting than face to face.
So what
You
time
say
I'm
that,
gonna,
and Rebecca perks up. Dr. Alexander shot someone? He's here?
Oh,
She asks.
oh, okay.
She heard your side of the conversation.
You know Dr. Alexander?
Of course, he was one of the people that were investigating into Hilton Adams' case with Father Sully and Declan. I assumed he was dead as well.
Oh, do you have his information? How to get a hold of him? Do you have any of his information?
Wasn't he a librarian or a professor at Miskatonic University? I'd assume you'd start there.
Okay.
Danger, Will Robinson. Danger.
Should we...
I don't know him. I'm just getting information from my friend.
Oh,
Yeah. Our
Who
friend
did he
was
shoot?
apparently shot.
He shot
Our friend was shot by Dr.
one of your friends. Shot another.
Dr. Alexander. Shot.
Is he not one of your friends? He was one of the original investigative team.
Oh, I don't know him.
Oh. Actually, you did
do-
meet him.
Your
I did meet him.
previous-
He was in Peru.
Oh, I did ask that, didn't I? And you guys said I didn't know.
Was he in?
He was in Peru. He may not have gone to. Yeah, he definitely went to the museum.
No, his argument was, didn't he start the game after
After
we got
Peru.
back from Peru, like
Yeah.
the third or fourth session?
Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh
he
yeah. No,
started
you're right.
late.
You're right. He
Yeah.
was in New York. He wasn't in
Yes,
Peru.
yeah.
My bad.
I
Yeah.
told you I didn't know him.
You would have come across his name in the notes, but yeah.
Yeah. And from Samus telling him that he got stabbed in the back by his hook.
Okay.
He went loco.
So I don't know him. I heard of him. But he did shoot our friend, who was in the Prospero house
With
while
a candlestick.
it was burnt down.
Prospero House is burnt.
It's burnt to the ground, apparently.
Oh my God.
So this all just happened while we were here.
Your concerns about personal safety were not just a comment. You truly
We
meant
told
it.
you this was dangerous.
Wow. Wow.
You should have your friends be careful who's looking into this.
I certainly shall pass on that information to all the investigative team. How is your friend doing? You said he was shot.
He's fine. He's fine.
Thank goodness
I'm
for
going to
modern
see him.
medicine.
I'm going to see him
Damage in
soon.
this game is funky.
He's gonna be fine.
Well, I'm
It was a minor
relieved to hear that.
shot.
It's just a minor gunshot.
Just missed an
Just
artery
missed
and
the-
Cling
the
through.
heart.
In and out, no problem.
He's
Yeah,
fine.
Physical damage isn't that bad as mental damage. You know.
Yeah.
Well, physical damage, at least you know when you're dead.
That's right.
Is there anything you need?
I mean, if you have any way of helping find out about this Dr. Alexander, because apparently he's here and not in Miskatonic.
Well, I can make a few calls.
If you would, that'd be great. Yeah.
Certainly.
Help. Find out where he's staying.
I'm happy to.
Thank you. I'm gonna go see my friend now. Make sure he's okay.
So, for convenience sake, I'm going to have all 5 of you regroup together.
Okay. Because
Yeah.
I would have probably the next day on Monday gone back to Prospero House.
Right.
And then either I would have went to Miskatonic or I would go to meet up in Harlem at the club. I mean, those are the only 2 places I would be aware of.
I'm sure you guys would have exchanged information. So, for convenience sake, the rain was particularly bad, and the nearest place for you to duck in was Dr. O'Donnell's. You thought maybe you could crash on his floor to get out of the rain for the evening.
Well, the other place I
I'm
do
just
know
gonna call him
about
General.
is
General.
Declan's
What
office.
kind of name is yours?
And it's probably abandoned now.
Could be,
that's-
but we're
That's
going to
general
go with
abilities.
O'Donnell's.
That's how I keep track of how many points I have. Sean O'Donnell. He was a captain in the army.
So, like I said, for convenience sake, we'll say it's probably about 9:30, 10 o'clock. You know what? You got shot. You were in the hospital. It's called 11 o'clock by the time everybody regroups at Sean's place. So if you're eating, it's going to be a very late meal.
That's fine.
All right. But by all means, continue your discussion with everyone present. And you don't invite Rebecca to this meeting, do you?
No.
Okay.
I want to call just to make sure that she is safe.
Well,
I just can't do
Trinidad
that. She's
came
fine.
in there, so
Okay.
She was asking about you, and
yeah.
she actually mentioned that she knew Alexander, so she's going to try and track him down and see if he's here.
I'll give a description. Does this person seem...
Yeah, tracking him down might not be a good idea.
So you think it was Alexander that shot me?
Well, I don't know if it was or not because I wasn't there. But
Okay.
Well, he gave a description. Based on the description, you can confirm.
if
that
it
it's-
if it was him, if she encounters him, he's kind of crazy. So we don't know what will happen
Well, she's not gonna go get him. She's gonna try to find out
tracking
where
him
he's
down means
find out where he's staying for us.
Yeah.
If he's here in New York, she's gonna use her connections to see where he's staying at here in New York.
Kind of threw the
Because
police on his
he's
trail.
obviously here.
Yeah.
Well, what I would think is if he was willing to come here and do this, he's probably already on his way to Egypt to sack the crate of stuff that's stashed in the warehouse. Because he's aware of that too. I mean, he
So,
Oh, I don't know. I think he's here
Actually,
probably with
he might
intentions
not
to
be.
hurt all of us.
He was totally drugged when we made it to the port.
He was.
He hadn't lost his shit by
No.
then, but he was drugged.
I thought that he was aware
He had
that
lost
we
his shit.
left stuff in Egypt. Oh, well, maybe
We never
I mean,
gave his
maybe
shit
not.
back.
This was on our way to figure out how to destroy the mask.
That when we
And-
threw it in the Indian Ocean or whatever.
That's right.
So
Right.
he was drugged before we
He-
got to China, but the whole trip
Yes.
from
He was.
London-
Yeah,
he was a
from
From
private
London
therapy.
till you guys dumped the mask, he was
Yep.
pretty
Okay,
thoroughly
so you're
drugged.
thinking that the
He-
chest is or the crate.
He knows Prospero House because he's been there.
Yeah.
That's right. And he also knows that we've been corresponding with Ramsey and with.
The lawyer and the publicist.
That's
guy.
right.
And he
So-
knows us now.
Well, no.
I don't think you are a random target.
Well,
No.
I think Prospero House was the target.
I think
just
Prospero,
happened to be in
it was the house, not him. It was the target.
And
No,
anybody
because
that
the
was
house
there-
would have been burned down and he wouldn't have went after
That doesn't
shooting
fit
him.
the idea.
He was outside waiting for him to come out to shoot him.
Alexander wanted what you had. Why would he burn it all
Right.
down?
Yes.
You were a target.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Well, I mean,
Huh.
how would he know me?
Well, he has that. He had more in that mask thing, which gave him extra knowledge. So he could be
Fortunately-
using some kind of magical ability to know who you are.
And if that's the case, then he knows all of us.
Exactly.
We're all being watched.
Just like I knew you were going to roll a 2. That's how Alex.
What do they call it? Insane wisdom?
Yeah.
See, Rich actually has one of those
Yeah.
masks with the eyeballs on it.
Yeah, I don't bring
And the
it
little
here.
bowl.
I mean, then we
Do I have
to
morphine?
assume, and we have to assume that Rebecca is in danger. We have to assume then that Ramsey is in danger,
Rebecca
And
was
he
in
also
danger as
knows
soon as she
about
took
the
the
people that
notes.
helped us.
and Harrington.
I mean, the,
I mean,
the
she
group of guys
accepted
in
that
Harlem.
danger. She was in danger as soon as she took the notes.
And he'd probably be willing to talk to the leader of the group that we're currently after, which would make them aware of us too. Since if he changed sides, he would let them know. So we just have to assume that
We're
everybody
a target.
knows.
Everybody knows us already. Yep. Just like
Well,
every place we go.
You know, the best place that
5
we
minutes
should go
in there.
is we should talk to.
We make one round. Every time we go someplace, we make one round and we're hit. Everybody knows where we're at.
It's never happened to you before.
We
we should talk to the nephew of Hilton to see if he maybe saw. That would confirm if he was
Well,
there last
Carlisle
night.
himself could be in danger too. I mean, there's a lot of potential targets. I mean, if you're worried about a specific person, I'd probably worry about the reporter the most because she has
She
the
has all
most
the knowledge.
stuff.
and she could
But
do
she's
the
at the
most
New York
damage.
Times.
Yeah, but she
But
could
she
do the
also
most
has a
damage by
home.
writing a
So
story.
what is the New York Times made out of? Is it made out of wood? Is it made out of stone?
Stone.
It's made out of stone and steel, and there's considerably more people that hang around the New York
24
Times.
hours.
I'm sure they have security. One man, especially as
One crazy person.
conspicuous as
Yeah.
he.
Yeah, I mean, but she does.
Although
also
I
does
think
have a house
it
or
would
an
be
apartment or
it
something.
would be wise to talk to Rebecca. In fact, we should probably call her immediately and let her know
that she is not safe.
that she is no longer safe.
Yeah.
I already told her
Does she
that.
already know?
Yeah.
I already told her
you
that.
guys
Okay.
had that conversation.
I mean, when the call came in that he was shot
Yep.
and you were
Okay.
there,
Hopefully,
be like, yeah.
She
might
said
wanna-
that, yeah, she was.
don't go home, lady.
Like I said,
Well, she's probably going to go home.
She would have been safer.
how'd you go for the
Well,
Well, the lawyer.
why don't we
was-
put a tag on or tag on her?
the
so
lawyer
we
has
can protect
our
her
money,
from him.
so you probably should call him,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And the guy that owns the publishing house is probably aware that the place burnt down. So
Yep.
try to call him. He's probably not home though. He's probably standing out in front of the burnt down building or something. Who knows?
Could be.
This is afternoon. My henchman make it in from Boston yet?
I say we give.
Sure. Yeah, I mean it's 11:30 at night by this point.
Can I hire somebody to protect Rebecca without her even knowing it, just so she has protection? And because I'm afraid that he's going to go and he's going to try to kill her where she has a story.
Yes,
And-
you absolutely can do that. I'm not sure you're going to do that efficiently at 11:30 midnight on a Sunday. But yes.
But my henchman can.
I feel like we should have her protected.
How is your henchman gonna get a hold of you? He's probably coming to wherever you were
Probably
staying.
going to Terry's. Terry's. Right?
Teddy's.
Teddy's.
Just text him.
And Teddy's is in Harlem.
Yeah, which is not close,
Not
to
close.
where.
No. Fifth Ave. Not a
Well, hopefully she'll be safe tonight. We'll get her somebody in the morning.
All
No,
right.
that's just not even right. You can't
Hey, at least I'm offering.
You know what? I don't really care, but
We can call the Times and tell her stay there tonight.
Yeah, let's do that. Tell her to stay there, and
She was.
She would have-
she'll
already-
say she was already planning
Planning
on
to stay
staying
there.
the night
Okay.
at the Times because
I'm just worried about having somebody.
there's been a fire and a shooting already tied into this. The story just got ratcheted
Bumped
up.
to the top.
Well, do we want to send anybody to the Prospero House to see if Harrington is there assessing the damage?
We could just go ourselves, unless you have something else to do.
I was there.
Who's
I didn't see
Harrington?
anything other than I know
He's
that
the
it was
owner.
I think
set.
you mean Kensington.
Kensington.
Sorry.
So, do you want to talk to Kensington? Is that why you're?
He is probably threatened too. He's in danger. There's no doubt about it. Because if any other people other than Samus and us knows about what's going on, it's him and Ramsey. And
Who
if
were we talking to right before Prospero
So
House?
Ramsey's the
started
attorney.
Rebecca.
Okay, so
Rebecca.
Kensington was managing our notes. That's why he knows
Where
about.
were we talking
Okay.
to?
Yep.
At Prospero House.
So
We brought her there to talk to her?
Mm-hmm.
get protection
God,
for
I
all.
need a longer
Protection
memory.
for everybody. It's like a beer. Protection for
I'm
everybody.
so sorry. That was 5 minutes ago, Mel.
That was actually about an hour.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good. Only an hour? All right.
Yeah, we need to
Should
find a way to
memento it
get-
up. Just tattoo it on you. So it'll just be like,
Oh, yeah. Oh, God, that was such a good movie.
What time is it right now?
Midnight-ish.
Midnight.
Close to midnight.
Yeah, well, we have to reach out to Kensington and Ramsey. Because if they are killed, and
I agree.
They're
Let's
the-
go.
they're
Let's-
the only other ones other than the group that knows what's going on.
Yeah.
How are you trying to get a hold of them?
first
Call
give a
him
ring.
and
at his
Message
Yes.
in a
house.
bottle.
Call both of them.
We'll try to get
Yeah.
a ring at his house.
Yeah.
Which one are you trying to
Molotov
call
cocktail.
We'll go with Kensington first.
first? All right, you call Kensington's house, and his wife answers the phone. Kensington residence.
Is Mr. Kensington in? It's urgent.
I'm sorry, he had a emergency tonight that he's currently out dealing with. Is there a message I could take? You said it was urgent?
It means that he's probably at Prospero House right now.
Oh, you're aware of the situation. Yes, he's with the police and fire department at Prospero House right now.
Thank you for your time.
Of course. Who may I ask to call?
Click.
No, that's not.
Alexander.
Okay.
See, Alexander.
Natural Donald.
All right, hang up and call Ramsey.
I will now call Ramsey.
So that's Ramsey, Carlton Ramsey.
That's right.
And I just want to check something about that. Because if memory serves, Carlton. Yeah. Well, you call his office because I don't believe you would have his home phone number, and
It's
it
not
rings.
Monday.
Yeah, nobody's there at midnight on a Sunday.
Yeah. On a Monday.
Yeah, sure.
All right. We're
Well, that's good then,
yeah.
because if we don't have his home address or home number or nothing, then that means Alexander will not
Never know.
Yeah, I don't think that's true.
be. Yeah. Well, first thing
Hey,
in the morning.
we tried.
We tried. Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's your day. Well,
We
we
wanna
could go over
go-
and see Kensington, since he's at the fire.
He's probably gonna wonder how we are at some point, right? Or where we are.
Yeah.
Did he know that you were in there?
Oh, sure.
Mhm.
Sure.
So you
Absolutely.
want, let's
I
go.
mean,
Let's
we
take you
we
over
all
there.
I
we
don't
all
wanna
met
go.
him there, so
You don't want to go?
No.
You're going. Let's go.
Wait.
I'm recouping.
I do not want to show my face there
Right.
because
I think that's kind of a good
if
idea.
we're going to be shadowed, then I don't want to risk being like the target
Again.
again.
Your injury makes you not run as fast as the rest of us. Is that the argument you're making?
No.
You're scared now?
Yeah.
Yeah, quite honestly, that's your character,
You don't want to
right?
get shot
Yeah.
again?
Like, yeah, okay. That's,
So what are you going to do?
that
Stay
was
here
some
by
heavy
yourself?
stuff, man.
Yes.
You want to stay by yourself?
Yeah.
That's not a good idea either.
Well,
I don't think it'd be wise for me to go to Prospero House at the moment either because the cops are already watching both of us.
And you're wanted.
Not
No.
wanted.
Yeah, we gave a statement earlier.
God, I can't spell.
But I think this is where I pull out my service revolver. Start to carry it on me though.
Yeah, I guess mine would be at my apartment.
Well, I planned on going down to the burnt out building.
I will too. I want to go. And I'll just tell him what happened to my friend and ask him what happened. Does he know anything?
Next week.
Basically,
That's it.
what's going on?
Kensington's just going to be talking to the
I used to
police,
have
find
that
out
over
the same
here.
thing.
That's annoying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
For like
he
the
may
first
know something more
20
that he's not
weeks.
going to tell the police. He may tell us because he trusts us.
Also, though, we need to tell him that he is in danger. That's really why.
That's
we need to
really
talk
why
to
we
him.
need
to talk to him.
Yeah, we don't care what he's telling the cops.
Right.
I mean, he's
Tell him
probably
he's
standing in front of it right now going, oh,
what
this
the
smells
hell?
not good.
Yeah. Was
Yeah,
there
so-
anybody
yeah.
inside?
We've got about 5 minutes left, so I don't think we're gonna have time to get through that.
Not
as
enough
a
time to kill any of
role-play
us
scene.
off.
Yeah.
But you will be able to
Survive.
get down there and talk to him and provide him that information. He doesn't know anything more beyond what you guys have already picked up. He's a little shocked to hear that Dr. Alexander may be the one who set the fire and also showed up to shoot Kurtz. But he's glad to hear that Kurtz wasn't too grievously injured, and that the notes survived. He's a little surprised to learn that. Other than that, though, he doesn't really have any information to share with you. The fire was clearly set based on everything the fire department's saying, and
No
There-
insurance money.
So he knew
What was the
Kenzie-
accelerant?
He knew Dr. Alexander.
Kerosene.
Yeah.
He
is
knew
not-
him. He's seen him.
Yeah.
And knew him from before.
Well,
So basically,
he
I'm just
knew
telling
him before he went batshit crazy.
yes.
Right.
He was a
Basically,
different
I'm just
guy.
gonna
then.
tell him, to
Wasn't.
be careful that he's in danger, and I'm gonna let
Absolutely.
him know. If he comes across Dr. Alexander, or if you see him anywhere, I'm gonna ask him to notify us.
Actually, run
Run.
or shoot at him first.
To notify.
Notify the police, and then you.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
The man is already wanted for murder.
And then,
Let's-
does he know Ramsey at all?
of course, I know.
Okay.
Charles and Ramsey.
Can you
Why?
Get a
Could
hold of
just-
him tonight? Do you know
Uh,
where he's at tonight?
Did you try
We're
his
just
office?
concerned for his
Yeah, there was no
safety, too.
answer.
There's no answer.
Try his home. Let's see if we can find a working phone. He calls his home, and again, there is no answer.
At his home?
How far is he live?
Carlton would be in Harlem.
Oh back to
He got our
Harlem.
money too.
Well, no, he doesn't have the money.
Yeah, he does.
Yes, he does.
Oh, he's not managing it through like an account at a bank or nothing?
No, he was the one managing the money.
Yeah, he's got our money.
Well, more importantly, he also has these notes.
More
too,
importantly,
so he knows what's going on.
well,
All right. That's
Ramsey's,
probably
you
a
gotta
good
find
stopping
Ramsey.
point for tonight. Then, can somebody let Josh know? We're a couple of minutes early, but only a couple of minutes, and this is probably going to be a decent point to end the stream for tonight.
I think I can end it.
Okay, all right.
I can end it for
Thank you
Just
for
turn the
anyone
computer on.
watching along at home, and if you have any questions, drop into the Facebook page. Let us know, and we will pick up probably Monday morning on April 20th next time. All right.
Very
Thank
good.
you, everyone.